All right, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 352. This is Internet Idiocracy as opposed to non-Internet Idiocracy. I don't know. The Fandom Menace by CMG. If you don't know who CMG is, I don't either. But that is MattCMG. That's at least the name of the YouTuber. And he's got about 24,000 subs. Couldn't tell much about this guy, aside from having a merch store, a TikTok, a Patreon, a Discord, a Twitch, a Twitter, a second channel, and a tip jar. So, and a Ko-fi, I guess it's another tip jar as well. So this guy likes to social media it up, and good for him, I suppose. But anyway, this video came out in January of this year with about 5,000 views. And if you don't know the topic of the Fandom Menace, this is something that came up years ago. I think it was after the release of Episode 7 Star Wars or during the release of Episode 8. I can't remember exactly the time period because everyone was like, wait a second, these movies suck. What's going on? Mm-hmm. So this is the term that they sort of, how they use, some people use SJW as a shield or as a badge of honor. This is sort of what the people online use as a badge of honor. It's like, yes, these are our opinions, and we're going to not be quiet about them. And then we had all these people on YouTube and Twitter and other social media posting videos and takes on why Disney is not as great as it used to be, or Star Wars, and what happened to the original lore and the stories that we used to love. So it's the standard fan response, and some people don't understand that because there are some hardcore fans that just don't grasp how Star Wars could be bad. And
ooh, that must be always good.
Yeah, it's like every fandom. Every fandom has the hardcore fans. How could you not like the thing that we all are watching and enjoying? It's like, well, it's not as enjoyable as it used to be for some reason. So, simple stuff. Anyway, this is a 30-minute video. I doubt we'll cover it all tonight, and we're not going to continue it tomorrow. So we'll just see how this guy's arguments shape up, and whether we're going to be wasting our time. Of course, we're wasting our time. That's the whole point. But
of course, yeah. No one else has got anything better to do. It's like the Thursday.
Take it easy, yeah. Because tomorrow is is our sacred day of the month, so we got to dedicate more time and effort to that. And this is just
good luck with that, guys, because I'm actually having a drinks date tomorrow night, so I'm not going to be here.
All right, fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, just a little brag.
Yeah, no, it's good. Everyone's got their thing. That's totally cool. All right, I thank you, Wisp, for giving me the middle finger, I guess.
No, not you. Not to you.
That's what you're doing. I see someone giving me a little finger. It's like, okay.
Are you trying to give me the middle finger that way?
No, it's to the video.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Fair enough. Okay, guys, you ready? We're all not everyone's here, but we are here right now, and I think we're good to go.
Well, Gingerman says he's trying to get home as quickly as possible.
Well, he's coming home from his job, so that's cool. That's no problem there.
Mark's Hungarian, so we have to accept, but he's just...
he's on dial-up in the woods, in the urban West Virginia world. Dial-up internet.
With the hamster wheel
woods.
Power generator.
He's Hungarian. He's in the urban West Virginian woods. Smud, your Canadian geography lessons.
Well, I'm trying to remember what our wonderful white trash lady friend was reminiscing about her childhood, eating elk and squirrels and all kinds of wonderful things.
I'm so glad I missed that episode.
Oh yeah, that was a treat. That was just like you're trash because you eat food. You're like, what the fuck?
You're trash because you eat food. Sorry that I'm not starving myself to death, my dear.
Yeah, you're eating junk. You're eating like chips and shit. You're like, therefore you're white trash. I was like, what the? Who is saying this?
Yeah, okay.
You went to the corner store. Now you're white trash. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. I was like, wow. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And Fallout 76 popularized West Virginia because of its trailer. I'm like, no, it didn't. What are you talking about?
It popularized West Virginia.
Because of a song.
I'm sure it was a song, I'm sure it was a song that has West Virginia in it.
Yeah. So many people who know video games saw the trailer. Like, what? What do you? No. I did not go out of my way to Google West Virginia after listening to that song. I'm sorry. I just don't care. So, anyway. The Fandom Menace, one of our favorite topics of all time on this podcast, or just any conversation. Star Wars, the ultimate fandom. Or at least the biggest I know. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's just go. Let's do it.
For over 1,000 years, Star Wars fans were the guardians of peace and respectful disagreement in the old fandom. For the dark times. Before the Disney buyout.
I already hate this fucking video.
Yeah,
he's not good at making the fake voice.
The reason why everyone thinks the Star Wars fandom was so nice to each other is because the internet didn't exist for 50% of the time that the Star Wars fandom existed.
I think you can apply that to fandoms in general.
Yeah,
well, we've had 15 years of internet at least.
Yeah. You guys had me at popularizing West Virginia for some reason.
Yeah, well.
Well, all I know is this is just peace in, like, you know, the galaxy with, like, stuff. You're like, oh no, bro, no. It's called the Phantom Menace in 1999. Shit happened there as well. It was bad.
You have no idea.
All right.
And Star Wars fans and Star Trek fans shitting on each other for the other franchise being crappier.
Oh,
That's
God.
just
Good times. Good times.
Yeah,
Good times when you're a fan of both.
Mm-hmm.
I am a fan of both. And to this day, I still can't see why the hell that shit happened.
All right.
Anyway. That was a very loud slurp, and I congratulate whoever did it.
Oh my god, I keep forgetting this microphone is too good.
This whiskey is slurpable.
See it like this. Well, so is tea.
My vodka.
See it like this. You get the autistic hearing experience that I go through all day, where I hear every shit at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
When it's a loud classroom and the needle falls, I still hear the needle. It's horrible. Anyway, I try to not have the mic on when I slurp the thing.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
We can continue. Yeah.
All right.
A group called the Fandom Menace, an ally of ours before they turned evil, inadvertently helped Disney hunt down and destroy the fandom. They betrayed and politicized the fandom. Now wholesome Star Wars...
Wholesome? This man's
Holy
wholesome?
fucking shit. Oh my god. The Fandom Menace betrayed the fandom.
What?
No.
The fandom.
No.
How is this
Disney
man...
did it.
How,
Abrams and Johnson did it.
How is a guy in a hotel room wholesome, crying over a trailer? Like, what is wrong with your sense of...
Yeah,
like...
this guy was just sad and creepy. Because this guy's mental.
This is cringe with a capital K.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was a joke. I thought someone was acting and he came from a, I don't know, convention. I know it'd be really funny, guys, if I cried over the trailer that's coming out soon. It's like, okay, go for it. And...
Oh, I heard this guy was for real.
Yeah, this guy, he was real.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this guy was real. But the thing is, the way it's all set up, it seems like a Red Letter Media sketch when they watch trailers.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's because I think this guy is a bit emotionally retarded or something. Because there's no way in hell you can react like that at that age.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
It's only oh, nice pictures, or TIE fighter. Oh, awesome scene. It's like, there's no sense to it.
The trailer itself was not, like episode 9 trailer was not anything worthwhile. The music
This,
was
this
good.
was to the I think this was to the episode 8 trailer.
No, it was episode.
No,
Well,
it
he
was
did both.
episode
He reacted to both, didn't he? It wasn't just episode 8. It was
Oh,
episode.
did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this
Yeah,
was
yeah.
about the TIE fighter pseudo TIE fighter run.
Yeah, the episode 9. Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
and then
episode
Ray
9, yeah.
somersaulting over
Yeah,
it.
West. That's episode 9. Yeah, it's episode 9.
There was 9.
Yeah,
Not
that
8?
scene happened.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Oh
Last-
yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah, you're right.
That's
You're
the-
right.
Yeah,
That
that's the
was
reaction
9.
a lot of people mention. Yeah.
That is the dumbest.
Man, I already repressed all this Disney shit that it all mingles into a giant ball of
Man.
yarn.
It is so bad
I
that
guess.
to be excited over Rey jumping in the air when she's a freaking god is like, who cares? She could jump. Wow. She can
Yeah,
fly
of a badly copied and made more emo TIE Interceptor.
It's just
Yeah,
it's just silly.
Instead, they could have had actual TIE Interceptors.
Shh. No, they can't.
But nope.
Stop.
Nope.
Shh. Shh.
Nope.
Shh. Yeah. No one knows what a Y-wing is.
Kylo Ren doesn't know what guns are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kylo Ren just like...
He just sees the lasers come out of thin air.
Oh,
That's
I
like-
so love that stupid pseudo argument that nobody knows what a Y-wing is. Like, what are fans again? Who's splitting the fandom? Who are the
Who's
bad guys
betrayed
again?
the fandom? Who's betrayed the fandom? It's not the people who know nothing about Star Wars. They're just
Yeah,
some
maybe the
shit.
people who don't know what Y-wings are.
They're the true fans. And you're like... ah.
All right.
Also, they politicize the fan base. No, the people who politicize the fan base are the politicized consumers, the SJWs and the woke retards, who are always political because all they care about is politics and want to shove politics into everything.
Mm-hmm.
So don't come to me saying, ugh. Like people who call Mauler political, like. It's so stupid. He's one of the least political people I know.
Yeah, more does a lot of
YouTube.
things, but he seems to stay out of that.
Yeah. Well, he's Welsh. He can't say much about politics. Welsh politics is shit.
Oh, you can't say much in Welsh.
Well, no, there's nothing. to
Nobody
say
understands you.
about Welsh politics. There's nothing there. It's like, well, yeah.
You've got. All you have is Mark Drakeford, who goes, "I like being a fascist. I think I should be a fascist for a lot longer." Anyway, trans people, that'll cover up my fascism. You're like, okay,
Mhm.
cool.
Hmm.
I'm not even over exaggerating. He wants to He wants to continue the lockdowns because screw the English.
Oh, that is an understandable reason.
But he's literally like, yeah, the English may be like opening up and all the business going up, but because it's English, I'd rather see my country crash and burn than follow what the English are doing. So hard, take that, England. And we're like, okay.
If I can't have happy stuff, I'm taking you down with me.
He's literally the guy who, if he fell into like a lion's den, he and some English guy offered a hand to help him. He goes, "Nope, I'd rather be eaten by the lions. Thank you very much." Like,
That
well,
one,
okay, then, bro.
that one meme with Christian Bale with the sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder why you still manage to be a united kingdom.
Oh, we don't want them. We know why we're a United Kingdom. It's called money. It's called they know they need English money. There's nothing else.
The same reason why we have Bavaria.
Yeah. Anyway, crying guy about Star Wars. Let's
Yeah.
stop talking about Wales.
About Disney Wars, yes.
Wholesome
Wales, tis a silly place.
The Fandom Menace was seduced by the dark side of the Force.
What? No, you're
Ow.
projecting.
Ironic.
Yo, who
You can't do the Palpatine voice.
CMG?
Oh no.
Oh no, he's doing the Hello Guido thing.
God.
Hello?
Thank you.
What?
No,
the-
no.
It was
no,
this cringe
no,
hipster.
No,
Let's just
no,
continue,
no.
please. I don't want to look at this.
Oh my god.
Can we fast forward?
everybody, and welcome back to a fresh new episode of Internet Idiocracy, the show where we make fun of these.
I immediately can only see the God, I forgot his name. The Hello Kids meme. Hello, fellow kids.
No, we're not doing this video. We're not doing this video, no.
So is this like the definition of a hipster right now? We got the glasses. We got the weird facial hair. We got the weird haircut. We got some fan crap in the background.
No, we can't do this.
I could remember the actor's name.
I did Matt Jarbo last night. I'm not doing more cringe. Why are we doing cringe?
Well, this is from emotional drive. This is the opposite to Matt Jarbo.
What?
Because Matt Jarbo is completely anhedonic and apathetic.
Wisp, what you're trying to tell me is this guy's got more spunk in him than Matt Jarbo.
He probably doesn't make more sense than Matt Jarbo, but he has energy and emotion. Everything that Matt Jarbo doesn't.
Well, I would say less crazy, but
Internet, let's just go on to
Who cares about the energy when they're still dead wrong?
This is so much. This is cringe with a capital K. That's
the what? The Polish kind of cringe.
Yeah, this is the Polish type of cringe, and they know about their cringe.
Okay.
No, this is just. I really hate this.
Anyway, this guy is like a few steps away from being. Well, not a few steps. Many steps away from being Patrick Willems, but he's getting there. He's climbing.
He's young. He looks younger, but not much.
Yeah, but Patrick Willems looks like an 8-year-old man in like a 4-year-old flesh suit, so it's not hard to look younger than Patrick Willems.
Yeah. Anyway.
My God.
My grandfather looks younger than Patrick Willems.
My God, 1 minute.
Let's go.
What is this minute?
From owners of the internet. I'm your host, but not a force ghost, MattCMG, and today let's talk about.
Oh my God.
Can we just stop?
Keep
Can
going.
we just seriously just...
How many views does this have?
I don't want it. Well, 5,000 almost.
Okay.
It came out in January.
Okay, so it's not one of these million
No.
view people.
Dear God, no.
It could be. Some of the million view people are like that.
Seriously, we can stop. We can talk about something else, like the weather, like stock prices, and we can talk about anything. But seriously, guys,
Robinhood went down 10% today, but it just had its initial IPO. So
no, Smud, keep going. Don't just say so and stop. Just keep going. Just so anything other than this guy, because this guy just cringes me out.
I don't want to look at him. I want to keep going. Maybe he goes to video.
But he's not going to. Smudge, you know this.
Why isn't Mark yet here suffering with us?
Yeah.
Mark.
Why is he in that West Virginian
Yeah.
forest in Poland?
Squirrel on a stick eater, yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's Great Scott. Great Scott, thank you. Remove this living cringe from the gene pool. Dude, I don't know what women find this attractive. We're going to figure that out, though.
No? Who? What? No? No? No?
This is so painful.
Those words, women find this... No. I still have hope for womankind.
Anyway,
We're not that far down the rabbit hole
let's keep going.
of extinction.
Let's keep going.
Let's talk about Star Wars fans. With the Star Wars franchise being as big as it is for the past 50 years, you'd have to be actively avoiding it somehow to not know at least a little bit about it. Like, even your fucking grandma knows what a Darth Vader is. They know what an R2-D2 is, you know? Like, you know what I'm saying? Personally, I like Star Wars, but I'm not a huge die-hard fan or anything. I watched the original 6 movies growing
Are those bifocal? Like, what are those? Those lenses are really thick. Like, what's going on?
Let's just say, because I'm not a big
I think
fan.
he's. I think.
You have
No, he's nearsighted.
Phase 1 clone helmet.
I mean, he is nearsighted, but it does look weird. Like he must have giant eyes. If the glasses make his eyes small, but they're still huge. Maybe there's some prism in it or something that makes it really weird. I don't know.
It's just. really bad vision. Okay, that's all we know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
But also he's saying that he's not a bit. Also, even your grandma knows what a Darth Vader is. It's like, okay, that's great. And then he goes, I'm not a really big Star Wars fan. Who do you know that owns Star Wars helmets and masks and stuff? They're usually fans.
Mm-hmm.
Random people don't go, oh, I'm going to buy a Phase 1 clone helmet.
You need to. This is paraphernalia that is expensive.
Yes. And also something that only existed in one movie, in a singular battle scene. That unless you were a fan of the show and watched other stuff and did other things, you wouldn't know about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go.
Because you'd wear a stormtrooper helmet.
Up, I watched those animated series as a kid. I played a fuck ton of Lego Star Wars and the Battlefront games, and I think even kids who hated Star Wars still had toy lightsabers as kids. I've had my fair share of Star Wars Expanded Universe lore video binges, I tell you what. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan out there. You know, Star Wars wasn't as defining to me as Pokemon or Avatar were, but it still had a pretty big presence in my childhood. Even today, I still kind of like some of the stuff they're putting out. Like, I like The Mandalorian and some of the new stuff. I said some. Fucking bastards. I'd like to think that I'm a pretty casual Star Wars fan, but there are some people who take these fantasy space movies just a little too seriously. Enter the Fandom Menace. The Fandom Menace started off as a group of prominent Star Wars fans who showed massive distaste for the direction Disney was taking the series ever since they acquired Lucasfilm in 2012. But back then, the Fandom Menace name was really only applied to a select few YouTubers and apparently some comic book writers who literally formed a group called that. They had a group called the Fandom Menace. But nowadays, the Fandom Menace is a term that is now applied in a more general way to describe toxic Star Wars fans, many of which now have very political motivations. It's one thing to dislike a movie, but it's another thing to call someone a cuck for liking it, or spreading lies and rumors about people you don't like. We're gonna get into all of it, so smash that motherfucking like button. Let's get weird, let's get wild, and pull out your lightsabers as we take on the Fandom Menace.
You're not funny.
Mm-hmm. So, not being a fan, has a lightsaber, has a helmet, casually enjoys stuff. I don't know. It seems like he's a fan.
Casually enjoys all the extended universe stuff and watches extended universe stuff and reads. You know when you say you're not a fan,
or not much of a fan.
Lying.
It's like that's more than an average
way
fan.
to start off the video.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just got lots of money. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he's a rich, privileged asshole.
Not a fan very clearly shows all the signs of being a fan. Sure.
Yeah, also, the reason why they call themselves the Fandom Menace was because everyone else called them the Fandom Menace, and they just took it on. It's like, people didn't name, like, the people the Toxic Brood because they thought it sounded good. It was meant to be an insult.
Yeah, the Toxic Brood honestly is an awesome name for your audience.
Yes, and it's just like,
I would have bought a T-shirt with that.
Yeah, but also the fan. In regards to the Fandom Menace, yeah, it's like the reason why more and more people are getting called it is because people try and use Fandom Menace to like shut out conversations. Oh, don't listen to them; they're part of the Fandom Menace. The only problem is,
by the way, which is the interesting thing here is that we see the whole gatekeeping scam in action. The Fandom Menace existed to healthily gatekeep the actual Star Wars, the good Star Wars, from fake fans who ruined it. Really ruined it. And now Favreau and to a degree Filoni were working hard to salvage what can be salvaged. We'll see how far that goes. However, when the people on the other side of this fence, the actual fake fans, are calling, as you said, don't listen to the Fandom Menace, they're bad people, so you shouldn't listen to them in the first place. They are themselves gatekeeping. They're trying to push their bullshit politics and worldview into Star Wars and mutate it into something that it isn't, and that will make it completely fall apart, which we've seen over the past, decade at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's getting on for a decade.
Yeah. While trying to keep the actual fans out. And this is what social justice always does. It's what I've been saying a couple times. They don't just do this with hobbies, franchises in this case, brands, fandoms, if you will. They do this in every aspect of life. Every association you can have, absolutely every hobby, down to knitting, you can have every scene of interest, like the hacker scene, and the environmentalist groups. Everything is being subverted, infested, and taken over by these people by the exact same strategy. Oh, you must be open. You have to. Gatekeeping is bad. You must let everyone in. Everybody is there. No human is illegal. Therefore, you must let us in. And once they are in, they get more of their own people in, and then replace whatever's going on in your thing with their politics. And that's why a lot of environmentalist groups are now not about environmentalist issues, especially local ones, which is most often the case, but instead their solution to every problem is now redistribution of wealth. It's insane. It's everywhere. That's just an example. And and after that, once they have done that, so they once they have done that, they raise up the walls, raise up the gates, and keep the gate closed so that people who are about the actual issue do not get in anymore, and they ostracize the original people who founded the bloody thing, who are about the original topics, because they're not pure enough, because they're not for the dogmatic socialist bullshit. And that's how everything gets destroyed. That is the cultural war. And the perpetual subversion and insurrection that socialism does. That's what Antifa is for. When Antifa has direct action on their flags, that is code for insurrection. It's all they exist for. They do not exist for what they call themselves, for fighting against fascism, because they themselves are completely fine with employing those very techniques, with being fascists themselves, because that is codified in the slogan of by all means necessary. And that includes fascist means. So you will find this everywhere, always playing out the exact same way. They will make you, so you have to gatekeep against them, because they try to make you stop gatekeeping so that they can come in and then gatekeep against you. It's like an autoimmune disease. They come in, they destroy your immune system of your group to keep shitty people out. Then they throw you out and raise the fucking thing, or turn your own defenses against you. That's why I'm saying they're not like cancer; they're more like AIDS.
All right, let's keep going.
That's why we need Death Stars.
What?
To blow up the Earth?
Yes. Not only then can we be sure to be rid of them. This Tyranid infestation. I mean Zerg infestation. I mean rebels.
Then we're gonna live on the Death Star?
Yeah.
Because there's no more Earth.
Death Stars are cool.
But it's fine. It's fine, Smudge. You can cook for us. We'll be okay.
Death Stars have warp drive.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean hyperspace.
Anyway,
I mean ramming.
Let's continue.
Let's get on with the cringe.
Origins of the Fandom Menace take us back to 2017 after the release of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. After a lukewarm response to The Force Awakens,
that was not
and
even a
generally
movie.
Mixed response to Rogue One, The Last Jedi created a huge divide in the Star Wars fandom. Half the fandom absolutely loved it for what they viewed as subversive storytelling and deeper themes, while the other half...
I'd like to know what they actually understand of what subversion is in stories and what the themes actually amount to. Because
what they understand as subversion, it's very simple. What they understand as subversion is simply, I did not expect this to happen.
Well, that's every film that you're a moron towards, so that's not really anything special.
Yeah. They don't have the brains to understand actual subversion.
And
when they don't have things spelled out for them, what the emotions are in a scene, what the plot is, what the message is of something, they do not understand it.
And the concept of a theme being deep, that doesn't actually mean anything. When you're talking about a theme, at least in my definition, you're talking about what a story is about. And you shouldn't have to figure that out in some complex way when you start categorizing as this versus, it's a conflict. So this versus that, this person's trying to achieve that X.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, you could have multiple forms of conflict, but then you're just talking about individual problems associated with the main theme. And then the minor themes are not even associated. Those are external to the main theme. So you have multiple themes if you want, but then you can't have too many or else your story is about too many things. So what is a deep theme to these people? I don't know.
I think it's just a deep theme is just anything they don't understand but looks cool. And I would say Star Wars is not necessarily the thing. For one, Star Wars is not necessarily the thing where you should go for deep themes. Like the original trilogy slowly built that up. The first movie didn't have that. But the whole Vader family thing fleshing out, that you can interpret as that.
That was right at the end,
however,
where you saw Luke look at his hand and he's realizing, I'm becoming like my father. Like that was one moment.
That is already implied in Empire.
Kind of.
That whole thing is implied in Empire.
Not too much. It's there, but not too much.
Like it's so subtle.
Yeah.
It's nothing. Yeah. It's nothing deep though.
But that's why it was. That's part of why it was good. It was subtle.
Yes.
The SJW movies are all bricks in your face, and that is not. Bricks in your face are not deep. They're just painful and cringy.
Yeah.
Like cheap soap operas. And the second thing is, if you can't even write a basic story, a basic film well, don't try to go all artsy avant-garde bullshit on me on the big franchise. Because I am inclined, and this is worth a bigger discussion. I am inclined to say that The Last Jedi is not even a movie. It's just an assortment of scenes.
Yeah, I agree.
And in a worse way than when you leave George Lucas alone in the editing room without supervision.
I think you can make that argument for episode 9 a lot easier because things are so disconnected. But with episode 8,
because Adams does the same thing.
Right, there's multiple.
He's obsessed with a different sort of cool than George Lucas. George Lucas is from what I saw of his original editing attempts, he has an idea to tell the parallel storyline slowly coming together. That's why he switches back and forth way too much.
Well, with the J.J.
Abrams is just obsessed with tons of cool looking scenes.
Yeah, that's the thing. The plot is pretty basic, but it's just why are we in quicksand? How did we get here? Why is this like everything just starts happening without time to breathe?
Abrams' writing is like it's a bit Michael Bay with the "You Can't Breathe," and it's a bit 5-year-old writes a story where random things happen because next page.
Right, that's what I got.
And that is shit. And Ryan Johnson's writing is also random.
It's just slow.
It's pointless stuff because, well, it's Ryan Johnson's writing goes into every plotline is pointless, and that's his idea of subversion. Like the whole Canto Bight plotline, completely irrelevant. It could have not happened. There's no point to it. You can cut the whole thing out, the whole thing, including to the scene with Phasma dying, and you've lost nothing.
No, you are right on that. It's like it's only for one little detail at the end in the ending, like the last 10 seconds, but it doesn't go anywhere either.
Yeah,
Yeah, the thing is, J.J. Abrams is a really bad writer and filmmaker.
Really, you don't say.
But the thing is, it's like you've got someone who's bad, and then you have to make a sequel to The Last Jedi. It's like the guy had no chance at all. That is literally like giving an armless man a pair of scissors and telling him to only use his hands to cut hair. Like, he's got no chance of doing anything.
I mean, it's like at least with Star Trek, it's like they're not all that good either. But at least in the case of his Star Trek movies, those were more of a clean slate. But even then,
Okay.
I think Abrams' work might have at least been bearable had he had the whole trilogy for himself.
Yeah, if Abrams had the whole trilogy, it would just be a bare basic story.
Yeah, it
it
wouldn't have been
anything
good,
special.
but it would have been okay.
Adequate.
It would have been movies.
Yes, it would have been 3 movies that had a start, a middle, and an end that didn't do anything too crazy out of the box, because J.J. Abrams really isn't a person to do things out of the box.
Anyway.
Yes, I don't think he has. I'm agreeing with a friend of mine who phrased it as Abrams does not have a single creative bone in his body.
But he makes things look good. That's the point. So
Yeah. Get him as your get him as your director.
I mean, I'll give
not
credit
writer.
where it's due. Yeah, definitely not writer. I'll give him credit where it's due. He has the passion for it. He just he's uncreative as hell.
here is
Ingeman, I'd have a passion for filmmaking if I got hundreds of millions of dollars for whatever shit I pumped out. I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll do it if they offered me enough money.
anyway.
That's what I meant.
Here's a really good super chat I want to read out. Vladimir Dragunov, how much better? And that's better with multiple double
Massive air
quotes.
quotes.
Would episode 9 be if Darth Jar Jar was the bad guy instead of a guy who blew up twice? Well, as soon as you said Jar Jar, and the simplest CGI would be, instead of having Snoke in the big vat of other Snokes, just have a vat of Jar Jars.
Yeah.
Say what you want about Jar Jar, but at least Ahmed did the best he could with what he was given, man.
Yeah. And honestly, I personally love the Darth Jar Jar idea.
Like, you don't have to actually have Darth Jar Jar in the show. Just have him in the jars. And you're like, wait a second. Is that a Gungan? Is Jar Jar in the jar? Is he a...
The Jar Jar Jar.
That'd be a pretty good gag.
Yeah,
if anything.
Guys, we've literally relegated Star Wars Episode 9 to, imagine if they made it a parody movie.
Yeah.
Parody fan fiction.
That's literally
If
what
JJ fully embraced all the nonsense, like, because, Rey needs to train. What happened to Jar Jar? All this other bullshit. And he just embraced everything. And he threw it together. And we'd sit there and go, what the... You know that episode of Simpsons where Homer makes a car and he just keeps redesigning?
Yeah, throwing stuff,
throwing it together. Like, you get this ridiculous
but the thing,
Frankenstein.
The best thing about episode is he completely destroys his brother's company, which is what I see Star Wars doing to Disney.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it'll be this ridiculous just amalgamation of garbage. And you'll be like, oh, this is what this is honestly what it is now, because you've driven it into the ground. There's nothing else to use.
Yeah, it's literally like.
But the horn played La Cucaracha.
Yeah, but imagine if like Star Wars Episode 9 was just like the modern day remake of Airplane. It would probably be okay.
I guess.
Here is this.
That's how it is.
Give Star Wars to Mel Brooks. We'll not get Spaceballs free anyway. So let's just let him make the original.
Well, we haven't got Spaceballs 2, so...
You don't know!
Okay,
you don't know! No, the title for... The title for the next Spaceballs, pitched by Rick Moranis to Mel Brooks, was Spaceballs 3, on the search for Spaceballs 2.
Oh!
I've been some shit. Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
Canadians are a bit weird. Yeah, we don't understand numbers. So
Yeah. It's just-
you also don't know European countries either, but yeah, okay, yeah.
or states. Here's the Swedish chef. Darth Jar Jar would have happened in the prequels if the character hadn't faced so much backlash. Changed my mind.
I'm not sure. I'm not
no,
sure.
I think-
Because
really.
I think George is pretty straightforward with why he has Jar Jar. So
he wanted to make it work for kids, but then I think if the Darth idea has merit, I think he chickened out. If he had gone through with this, I think people would have loved it.
I think it would probably was the same situation as the original idea for Episode 6, where Luke was a Sith. Was it?
oh really?
Was
What?
It's like I think that it was originally. Remember that I think it was originally called Revenge of the Jedi, where he stayed evil. But then
Oh.
because of like the whole thing involving like toys, we got to sell the toys to kids, the Luke toys. That's why it's Return of the Jedi, with the ending it has.
Oh.
Well, did the Jar Jar toys actually sell?
No, that I know for a fact.
Yeah, and just run through with the Darth Jar Jar thing, because then you salvage the character.
Yeah. I mean, then again, if it weren't for Episode 6 changing its name, we wouldn't have Episode 3's title.
Yeah, and the bloody stories would have actually rhymed, George. They would have actually rhymed, because you
In a
would
way,
have.
yeah.
Yeah, because with Yoda, you had the nice, wise creature on the side of the road. That is a jokester, but then teaches you, because it's just pretending to be a jokester. And Jar Jar would have been the evil version of that.
It would
That is
actually
helpful as well.
work with the Clone Wars animation because Jar Jar is also invincible and a goofball, and he's just joking around and doing amazing things. That doesn't make any sense how he's able to pull those stuff off.
But there's a specific there's a Jar Jar specific episode in the first 2 seasons. I don't remember the exact one because I'm not going to rewatch that. That is so bad that you can see that the people who made it put less effort into textures, lighting, shadows, animation, and hi Mark. And they it is like the people who made the episode hated to work on a Jar Jar episode, and in that episode, for a time Jar Jar seems dead because he was eaten by a giant sea monster in front of Padme, and Padme was like,
Oh, thank God, he's dead.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, she's not saying it, but her whole expression is like, Jar Jar is dead. I'm just going to continue.
Is Jar Jar dead? We can only hope.
Well,
Yeah,
Padme
really.
was kind of doing like the Palpatine metagame. Like it's
Yeah.
all in the Naboo kind of shit. That,
And
like
if-
we gotta
if I-
take care of like our enemies.
And if
The
I
trick-
remember correctly, there were the characters where the happiness of Jar Jar's return was mixed. Let's say the expressions on the characters is amazing. Is for that the episode is great. You can
Oh
see
my
that.
God, Jar Jar, you're alive, and the contents of Padme. Damn, I owe you 20.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Jar Jar, you are alive.
Here's
Oh,
here's
that-
Vla-
Okay.
You joke about that, Hawk, but that would have just completed the joke right there if that had happened.
here's Vladimir Dragunov. Misa bin every voice Yusa heard inside the Yusa head. Oh God.
Oh no!
That was a line that they needed to just. Fucking just
Anyway.
kill me.
Back to this guy who we forgot what he was saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate its bizarre writing decisions and poorly developed characters. Much like what Degza did for Pokemon and what The Legend of Korra did for Avatar, the Star Wars fanbase was split in half over The Last Jedi, with some going as far to say that it's the greatest Star Wars movie ever made, and others who think it completely ruined the entire franchise.
Okay, who the hell is on the part where they say that this is the best thing ever happened to the franchise? Seriously, like
I think they only say
Patrick
it
I
at
Williams.
the very
gotta,
end.
gotta search for them.
Patrick Willems, I think.
and I think
but he's not a human.
That's true.
I think these people
Yeah,
only
well,
say that to
it's
be
human,
to be contrarian because they don't like our social justice themes, so we must claim to love the thing, just like they love the new Marvel comics with all the bullshit that nobody buys, and that these people, these alleged fans, also do not buy, do not invest in. Maybe with exceptions like this guy, but people don't.
To be honest,
and these all these social justice people, they do not spend money on the things they claim they love.
Which is why I love New Warriors got canceled like the next day.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It's like, we love. This is the greatest Star Wars movie. Okay, you only talk about The Last Jedi when you're arguing with someone on Twitter about the fact because you've used it as bait to get attention. No one brings it up in any other reason than to get Twitter bait. That's it. It's never on any lists anymore of like best movies. It's never on any like discussions or stuff like that. It is literally on Twitter, 4 pictures of the 4 same scenes that always get picked going, this is the greatest Star Wars movie ever, and anyone who disagrees is just a hater. And it's like, right, so this is just bait to get people to argue because you need...
Yeah, it's just hate bait now.
Yeah, it's like, right, so the greatest Star Wars movie ever, and some people have referred to it as the greatest movie ever,
No.
has literally just been relegated to hate bait on Twitter.
I think anyone who's making the
Those
argument
people,
that...
those people have no right.
Sorry?
Those people have no fucking right. The fucking greatest movie of all time, my ass.
Well, if you're saying a movie is a subversion of the thing that it's supposed to be, and now you're saying it's the best version of that thing, that's the opposite. You can't say that.
Mm-hmm.
So...
What's the what are the DVD sales for Last Jedi?
Oh god, I have no idea.
Laughable at best.
Oh well, we now have online buy crap, so there's probably numbers for that too.
Well, there's streaming services, all kinds of stuff to check out.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I've not heard any of my normie friends mention The Last Jedi since The Last Jedi came out.
Mm-hmm. Completely forgettable movie.
Yeah, the funny thing is, anyone can make an average script for Star Wars, and it will sell well just because it's Star Wars.
Oh my god! It's still Rotten Tomatoes is still on 90% for this crap.
Wow.
Rise of Skywalker is stuck at 86, I believe.
It's been that way for
3 years.
Yeah, for a while.
It's been what, four years? It's been stuck that way for 4 years. It's never going to change. Rotten Tomatoes, it can never change. Rotten Tomatoes will not allow it to change. It's like fixed.
Yeah,
now.
same thing happened.
You trust the audience score.
But here's
the
sorry, someone continue.
The Scarlett Johansson movie. They adjusted that. They fixed the whatever rating for the user score.
What, Under the Skin?
No, Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Yeah.
No, I thought you were talking about a good movie.
I have no idea.
But the major, the thing is, to know whether a film is really like the greatest thing ever or people really enjoy it, listen to what your normie friends say. If they never bring it up in any conversation whatsoever regarding movies or films, then you know that it wasn't even that interesting for normies, because normies will literally eat anything up. And that's how I always say whether something's like memorable or good or something, as if a normie remembers it. So it's just not happening. It's just the same people saying it's good just for clout on the internet, and it's like, I don't think it's that good. I disagree with what you say. So,
all right. Here is Taker 610. Is this hypothetical? Is Jar Jar also Rey's grandpa?
Yeah, in the hypothetical about what if Darth Jar Jar happened, who would be the grandma?
Yeah.
It's just
Okay, anyway. He was about to say something, and they zoomed in on his face, so let's see what he has to say.
Yeah.
Both of which are stretches. I think you guys get the
I didn't catch that. One sec.
for Pokemon and what The Legend of Korra did for Avatar, the Star Wars fanbase was split in half over The Last Jedi, with some going as far to say that it's the greatest Star Wars movie ever made, and others who think it completely ruined the entire franchise, both of which are complete stretches. I think you guys get the picture, and if you've observed this in nature, you probably already know, but The Last Jedi divided the fanbase, or at the very least, widened the schism between the two extremes that had already been growing. But let's be real, this divide did not start with The Last Jedi. It started back in 2012 when Disney bought out Lucasfilm and started doing shit people didn't like. You know, they canceled the beloved Clone Wars series. They took the Clone Wars team and put them in a more cartoony series in Rebels. They made The Force Awakens, which was essentially just a rehash of A New Hope. And they got rid of the old expanded universe that people really enjoyed. The seeds for people hating what Disney was doing to Star Wars were planted long before The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Shortly after
It was more like a blockhouse.
Wait, hold on. You know that saying, the straw that broke the camel's back? It's not used as a, well, it's just the straw that broke the camel's back. No, that means that literally the fan base was gritting its teeth through a lot of shit. So if The Last Jedi is the thing that broke the straw that broke the camel's back to split the fan base, it obviously means that shit was going really bad to begin with.
Yeah, episode 7 was initially well received, and then months later, people went,
because
it
had set up things relatively carefully, and there were interesting bits about it.
Yeah, the average fan was like, "This is okay," and then the hardcore fans are like, "Wait a second, there's literally nothing here that we haven't seen already. In fact, it mirrors, as this gentleman said,
and it was accepted as playing safe."
Yeah.
After the Lucas fiasco with the prequels, so lots of fans accepted it as, okay, we're doing the completely safe route.
And you expect something along the same flavor.
Yeah. And then build on that.
Yeah, exactly.
And what then happened instead was The Last Jedi, which is not a straw. A straw is a small thing. Tiny thing. Could be negligible under other circumstances.
This is the lumber mill that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
The wood chipper of a forest.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the Northern Canadian logging industry that broke the camel's back.
This is the redwood. This is come thundering down. Just crushed all the camels. All the camels were ready to catch this redwood and just crush them all.
This is the redwood that wiped the camels out.
Okay.
the release of The Last Jedi, a dedicated group of Star Wars fans decided that they had had enough. They hated what Disney had been doing to the series, so they decided to unify and make their voices heard. Several prominent YouTubers, including Ethan Van Sciver, Geeks and Gamers, and World Class Bullshitters, and a few others, banded together to do exactly this. And thus, the Fandom Menace was born. The Fandom Menace was simply the name of this group of YouTubers who hated the Disney era of Star Wars. And if that's all that it was, nobody would really have a problem with it. The problem was that things...
No. The bullshit fake fans of this crap, who are only there for the ideological politics, for the political fetishism of all this bullshit, and the cultural destruction that they call subversion, they do have a problem with any sort of critique because they're narcissistic twats. They never want anything negative to be said about the things they like, and when they torture you, if they would be torturing you physically, they would call you toxic for complaining about being tortured by them.
Mm-hmm.
This is what these are abusive minds. Doesn't matter. So that there's a group forming that says, no, this is bullshit. Here's the actual Star Wars. Of course they take issue with that. And then blow that out of proportion, which is what actually gives you traction as the opposing group to this crap. Because that's what they always do. They make elephants out of flies, which is how they prop up their adversaries, whether they're real or not. With the unreal ones, we see this repeatedly when the left talks about Nazis behind every tree and every rock. When there's actually maybe one on a hill in some village that is confused and lonely.
Well,
But
did you
it's
say
1,000. We need to.
elephants
It's on the
out of
rise,
flies?
and we need to be.
Did you say elephants out of flies? Don't you mean like just the usual thing of mountains out of molehills?
No, it's the. I just translated the German equivalent to what you say. We say elephants out of flies. Sorry, didn't notice.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm just. Yeah. Carry on. Sorry to
Don't do the molehill thing.
I mean, you're right. They would not have left it alone if all they had been was opposed to what Disney was doing, because these guys poo-pooed the precious Disney trilogy with the first woman to ever be the lead character in a movie. So of course there was going to be a problem. It was always going to be a problem. I mean, like the conspiracy theorist in me says that some of the people opposing these guys were probably paid off by Disney or employees of the Walt Disney Company, but either way, they were going to get blowback for not being uncritically accepting of the first movie to ever have a woman
in it.
Ever.
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. I always remember
that totally wasn't the Mary Sue. Was it because it was the first big movie that did not just have a woman but a Mary Sue as the main character?
I don't know. All I know is on Twitter, after I said I wasn't a fan of The Force Awakens, I was called, what was it, a Nazi, communist, right-wing, leftist, woke snowflake. All the things.
Communist?
Yeah, I was a Nazi communist.
Okay, yeah. They're the same thing anyway.
But that's when I was realizing that there's something odd about this. This isn't just people, not liking the fact that I don't like their movie. There's something else, going on. It seems very politicized, and then obviously that's when I started then going into like with Mauler and EFAP, and then obviously Last Jedi really did just fucking do it. And then I just realized that this whole thing, this wasn't about entertainment, this wasn't about Star Wars, this was about an ideology and a propaganda push. And if you didn't support it, you were the enemy and you needed to be silent. So
Okay. And I think that is like a prevailing theme with a lot of these darling properties of the social justice brigade, is they tie their identity so closely to it that if you don't like the product, it must mean you don't like them. And as is so often the case, it means you want them dead.
Yeah, it's because they cannot distinguish between their self, their being, and anything they like, or their work. It's like when you have a shitty coworker, you criticize that coworker's quality of work, even if it's just for help. Like there's a little flaw, and this is how you can make it better. That coworker will be personally insulted because the work is an extension of the self. There's no differentiation. That is the emotional immaturity that I speak of. Mature people can make this distinction. These people cannot. And furthermore, we have the additional problem that it is easy to interpret, easy to believe that Rey was the self-insert Mary Sue of Kathleen Kennedy. So she had very personal beef with anyone criticizing this. So I can believe that she would send bloodhounds in order to quench any critical movement from forming.
Whoa! Did you just imply that a hack writer made a self-insert main character? I would never.
Who would
do that?
I would.
mental children.
I can't conceive of the idea that some idiot would write themselves as the lead character in a movie franchise. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Have a little
totally
faith.
fine if you. It's totally fine if you're 5 years old. It's
Have a
not
little
if you're
faith,
40.
Where was the
There's a
scene where
plan.
Ray
Yeah,
but
brought like
guess
coffee
what?
to
Even-
Encore Plus?
Guess what?
But
Guess
you're
what?
still,
Even a
but you're
5-year-old would
mentally
be
still
more-
5 years old.
All right, guys.
Yeah, but even then, even a 5-year-old is more mature about it than these yahoos.
That's the point.
All right, let's get going.
Things got a little bit hand as things like this tend to do. More and more people kind of rallied behind these YouTubers, and even though the big three who originally started the group have since moved on and don't really seem to care as much as they used to, the group that they created became much more than that. The Fandom Menace was no longer just a group of YouTubers anymore. It was a whole movement, an ideology for anti-Disney Star Wars fans to rally behind, even if nobody was directly leading or organizing them. The Fandom Menace isn't even just limited to Star Wars anymore, as they now apply it to other nerdy franchises like the MCU.
That sounds like it is exactly what Antifa wants to be and pretends to be, but is not.
Yeah, it's almost like
A
the Fandom
grassroots
Menace
movement.
is a grassroots naturally occurring
Yeah.
movement.
Not an astroturf like Antifa.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
weird how genuine consumer revolts are generally portrayed as being astroturfed when supposed grassroots movements are actually astroturfed. It's weird how that happens.
It's weird how multinational corporations support certain grassroots, and I'm doing quotation marks, really like big quotation marks here. It's very weird how actual, it's almost like most grassroots movements get shunned by multinational corporations and governments, while fake ones get supported. Almost like the fake ones were created by the multinational corporations. So weird. It's just
and real
so
ones.
weird.
Well, the problem with real grassroots movements is that your government and your
involve
corporations
real
have no
people.
control over it.
Yeah,
They're opposed to your control. That's why they have to be rendered as bad.
Yeah.
Well, and from an optics perspective, of course, the issue with actual grassroots movements is that because it's a popular uprising, you don't have any control over who's standing next to you. So they get the corporations get to amplify the voices of the people you don't necessarily want standing next to you, and it doesn't really matter if you denounce those people or not, because you don't get amplified. They get amplified if they're even genuine to begin with. I mean, I recall when the whole kerfuffle with Kelly Marie Tran, one of the screenshots that got passed around was like some post from a Facebook page, some kind of Star Wars, anti-Disney Star Wars Facebook page. There was no real name attached to it. It was one of those fan pages. And the guy said, "Oh yeah, I did this. I was instrumental in getting her bullied off of social media." It's like, for all I know, I had never heard of this page. I mean, I'm not on Facebook, but I'd never heard of this page. I saw no indication of how popular a page it was. For all I know, it was started by someone in the PR department at Walt Disney.
Yep.
Well,
Because I never saw, I never even saw a link to the original post. I only ever saw screenshots of the post.
She removed herself from Instagram, and that was like a while back. So I don't know where the harassment started, if there was any, because we don't know who did what.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing, is I don't even necessarily believe that there was harassment, because she deleted her Instagram, and I read the editorial she wrote, or the column she wrote in the New York Times. She doesn't say anything about getting harassed on the internet.
Yeah.
That's a very minor thing.
It's. I think it was if I remember this correctly, she removed her account to not spill any, to not mix that up with the media role or spill anything about that there. Yeah. Which is what actors sometimes do. And the other part is, the original fans usually, except the worst of the worst fringe lunatic idiots, are not harassing actors and conflate roles with actors. They know that the actor is not the role. However, the SJWs, they always conflate actor and role. They think that what you say as the character that you play, you endorse as a person, because they make the same mistake that I explained before, where they can't distinguish their own work from themselves. They also cannot do that with other people.
Yeah, Wisp. For an example, when I used to be on Twitter, and I ever said like a hot take, people used to try and make fun of my name, saying, "God, your parents must have been stupid calling you Hawk." I'm like, that's not my actual real name. People used to literally believe that my actual name was Sarcastic Hawk. I'm like, no, that is literally that's just the name I go by on. Are you thick as fuck?
Is Sarcastic your first or your last name?
It's a family name.
Okay.
I'm Chinese. The surname goes first.
All right. Here's Ballsack McGuire. Hey, thanks for the donation. It was me. I bullied Kelly off social media. I have quotas for bullying women and minorities off the internet to keep, and I'd do it again. Okay, thanks, Ballsack. Nice to know it was you.
Asians are not a minority. Not globally.
All right.
When I talk about the internet is a global thing.
Anyway.
We should treat minority ratios as such.
We are only 5 minutes in, and we've got other things to be talking about after he describes all of the basic events of the formation.
You're right.
Shall we? Yes. Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Like the MCU kinds of shit. The Fandom Menace went from this small collective of frustrated YouTubers to this decentralized mindset that it is now. Now let me get one thing straight here. I would not be talking about this right now if all the Fandom Menace was doing was calmly or even firmly or aggressively saying what they don't like about Star Wars right now. If all they were doing was criticizing the movies or Disney's business practices, I would not have a problem here. I have zero problem with criticizing things, even if your criticisms are completely misguided. Like, you know, for example, like these hour and a half long Last Jedi reviews.
He's gonna bring up the Calimari trend
everything
thing.
that they say is
Pause.
Because the only thing that's when he says all of this. Sorry? What did you say?
I'm just saying because he's going through stuff and you're saying stuff, and I'm struggling to like separate both your points and what he's saying. So I'll just.
No, I'm sorry. I meant to say is that he now says all these things are fine. The only thing that will be left is the fake harassment bullshit.
Yeah, he says that he'd be perfectly fine if you're aggressively complaining. It's like, right, so we're fine aggressively complaining, but when we aggressively complain, that's wrong because we're aggressively complaining about the wrong thing in your head. So you're not fine with all this stuff.
Yeah, I think he will just end on. But it's not okay when you harass the actors like Kelly Marie Tran. Although it's never an issue when SJWs harass other actors from other movies and shows for whatever. For Scarlett Johansson having two big boobs or something.
Wes, you know the line, it's okay when we do it. Come on.
No, don't worry, guys. Best so far.
Don't worry,
like
guys. We're gonna get exactly 2 examples of people commenting mean things on somebody's Twitter account.
Oh, yeah. God, that's going to happen.
With the engagements hidden. We're going to get exactly 2 instances.
Has he mentioned the Jar Jar actor Ahmed Best so far?
No. Sure he will. We haven't given him a chance to mention anything yet.
Because I remember that article that he wrote so long ago. It was a journalist, but apparently the media drove him to almost suicide, and people nowadays they rewrite it as the fans, the outrage caused it to happen.
Yeah, but Ahmed Best is it's been made clear in the past. Ahmed Best has nothing against the fans though.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course, but like
well,
these people
and-
are gonna make it out to be.
It's
Like,
like
the
Jake-
fans
it's like-
are the
it's like
problem.
Jake Lloyd as
I'm
well.
not denying that. I'm
Yeah,
just
we're
saying
probably-
that I'm meaning in terms of Ahmed specifically, he has nothing against the fans. I mean,
And-
obviously they're going to turn it against us, but it's been made clear.
Yeah. And how did that go with the kid who played at the kid
What?
Anakin?
Jake
Well, that
Lloyd.
one, well,
yeah,
that one,
he-
that,
he-
yeah, that one
well,
didn't turn out as well.
Hold on. I'm literally about to explain it. Right,
Okay.
he stopped being an actor because his classmates used to bully him.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kids bullying him at school that made
Yeah.
him stop being an actor.
Yeah, so also
Not
not a fan thing, and also not a media
Yeah.
thing.
Except the fans get the same fans. The Fandom Menace will get lumped in with them.
Mhm.
I've
Yeah,
heard it
Fandom
blamed.
Menace
I've heard it blamed on the fans. What happened to Jake Lloyd? Even though in the interview where he talks
What?
about it, he says the kids in my class at school.
Yeah, and this is
That
going
was
back to like
that was
the early
20 years
2000s.
before the Fandom Menace.
The Fandom
Yeah.
Menace did 9/11.
How can the
Exa-
Fandom Menace that hasn't existed done the thing?
Wisp.
Like,
it's
before
like-
the
you have
Superheroes
to
were
remember-
born.
Like there's Back to the
Wait,
Future. Haven't
Wisp,
you
you
seen
have
that
to
movie?
remember, it's
I don't
all-
have a DeLorean.
It everybody gets collectivized into one group of
yeah,
bad people I don't like. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Wisp. The fandom Menace.
Remember I've told you that these
gave
people
Eve
are-
the apple.
And,
So
have
that's
I?
how far back
Do you
it goes.
remember when I told you that these psychologically abusive, narcissistic ass twats have no concept of linear time?
Yes, but we've heard that repeatedly from you. Yes.
Yeah, it's always year zero.
Yeah, and this is that. Yeah, it's always year zero, and anything that just came into being that they don't like has always existed in the past before it came into being, and they twist around cause and effect. They're living in a constant post hoc ergo propter hoc fallacy that they accuse you of, where when you it's when someone bullying you or abusing you for months drives you to snap, and then finally you snap, and then that person that drove you to that point points at you and yells, see, actually insane. I'm the victim. This is the abuser that was driven into snapping by that person. And this is what they constantly do. These are the basic strategies, mechanics of psychological abuse. And they live it. They've organized this.
Hold on.
And it's what the Soviet Union did on a grand scale, and it's what the Nazis did in the concentration camps.
Because Matthews has just messaged me saying, tell the panel that the Fandom Menace is the new Gamergate, and it does sort of feel like that.
Yes, they
because-
are
Aren't
trying
they,
to make it out to
aren't they
be that.
connecting the two as well?
Don't be silly. It's not the new Gamergate. It's
It
just
is the
Gamergate.
It
Yeah.
is Gamergate.
Mhm.
No,
There was
like
that
I have
graph that
seen
was
it
connecting
said.
it to the
I have
Gamergate.
seen it
Yes.
said. Yeah, I've seen them connected. I've seen people equate the two. Like I say, lefties tend to a lot of the time collectivize all of the opinions they don't like into one.
Demon.
I mean, sometimes they do it. They'll kind of act as if they're addressing a single person under the general heading of y'all or these people or the Fandom Menace. They'll be like,
It's
the
all
Fandom Menace,
It's all Satan.
whatever position. Also the Fandom Menace, a contradictory position. And act like there's some like inherent hypocrisy that they've just assigned these two contradictory opinions to the same group of people, even though like a group of people is made up of like more than one person. And
Yeah,
two
it's like
different
the
people
fandom-
holding contradictory opinions is not hypocrisy.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's like the Fandom Menace is racist. Anyway, this Black Fandom Menace and proves that the Fandom Menace are a hypocrite because they'll allow black people in. It's like, well, the reason why it looks like hypocrisy is because you've made up the hypocrisy. You made out that this thing was something it's not, and then went looking for something to prove your point that it's wrong when it never existed. So, yeah, I agree. The reason why there's contradictory points on the Fandom Menace is because
Yeah.
Like,
And every
Xbox
counter
says
argument will
it's-
either be dismissed or try to be twisted into justifying the thing in the first place.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Here is a donation from Cock and Ballinist Manifesto. I'm sorry, I just do not care that rich people are bullied off of social media. Also, people say how evil capitalism, until largely working class people, the proletariat, doesn't like a product made by capitalism as long as it just ends.
But like buying giant mansions with donation money for racial...
To be honest, and I'll hold on, Wes, just before you start
okay.
another rant. The thing is, you have to remember that it's like what Xbox said. A lot of these people are probably just being paid off by the huge corporations.
Some are. I'd say the seeds of these bullshit movements are
the roots of it are.
But I've met too many in real life who gobbled up the seed bullshit and just regurgitated like parrots.
Yeah, but the main thing you have to remember is, well, what I always say is the reason why wokeness and SJWs are allowed to take have a lot more power and everything is the fact that it is literally a way for massive multinational corporations and governments to defend the shit they do, because it gives the common person a different argument. It takes people's minds off of stuff. So instead of arguing about the actual problems, the fucking agents come in and go, it's about equality, it's about women, it's about this and that, and blah 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 blah, and it moves the arguments away from what it should be.
Yeah.
And this is why I always say, read up about Occupy Wall Street. You might not agree with what they did, but that was literally a moment where common people went against Wall Street and the shit that was happening. And then right after that, SJWs and wokeness shot up almost
not right after that. In that.
During
when it is likely that the whole social justice divide and conquer racist, sexist bullshit that the left is doing was planted into Occupy Wall Street to destroy it. Because then the infighting would start.
Yes,
if I remember from watching, like, video accounts of what happened, it all started when a couple of I guess self-styled leaders of Occupy Wall Street were brought on to some news channel for interviews, and they got asked, hey, what is your movement trying to accomplish? And they all gave weird contradictory answers, and where eventually they started talking about the need for equality in the workplace and women's rights and all of this stuff. And that I think was the if you can point to one event, that was it. And then the other one I always bring up largely for online movements was Elevator Gate. I don't know how many of you remember that.
That's
roughly. I don't remember who was involved, but it was just the same accusation bullshit.
Yeah, it was the same, I got death threats for what I said kind of thing. And I think the two of those things happening together was kind of the tinderbox, at least online.
And I knew people who were at the German Occupy events in Frankfurt. And those stories, those retellings that I heard before Tim Pool talked about his experiences, way before, they're completely congruent. In the German Occupy thing, the exact same thing happened that Tim Pool talks about. That happened in where was he? New York, wherever in the US, and that is
Wall Street.
That is it worked
on actual Wall Street,
probably. That Occupy worked and seemed to have good traction and pressure until extreme radical leftists turned up and took over the movement and divided people into groups. And that's when it fell apart.
It's almost like they were planted there to do that.
Yeah, it's almost as if it was globally coordinated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the night of the long knives. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get back to the video.
With all that out of the way.
They say in that. I 100% respect their right to exist as long as they aren't spreading hate or spreading misinformation. The problem, though, is that the current Fandom Menace does exactly this. They just spread hate and spread misinformation.
Projection. Have you ever read what the SJWs are writing?
Why
You
is it
tell me that is not hate? That is
They spread
this is the most hate-filled movement I've ever seen since you know who.
since the Beatles broke up?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
No. Since John Lennon and Yoko Ono got together to make that
Okay.
Yeah,
abomination.
That's totally what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That was World War II.
Totally, man.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need a drink, man.
I've one. Don't worry about it.
I
I
assume
turn
that the
off
guy
the
is not
mic.
going to explain like, what kind of lies the group is spreading at all. It's just gonna
Yeah.
be
Of course
this,
not.
This is,
like,
hold on. This is
It's
going
just
to
vapid
be
flames.
the two tweet example. This is what's going to come in, guys.
with 0 likes.
Yeah.
All right.
Information.
Yeah.
The Fandom Menace isn't even about whether the movies are good or bad anymore. The movement has become so bastardized by what I assume is the quest for internet clout that it's not even about the movies. It's about the people making them. It's about unrelated politics, and it's about completely making shit up just to spread rumors and get clicks.
Liar.
You might
For
not agree with what
examples.
the original Fandom Menace group was aiming to do, but
It is never.
This guy's
not
like an
been
evil
movies.
twin of like
It has
X-Men.
that has been the
Hold
main
on,
thing
guys.
of all this.
People like
hold
him
on.
is what we call a propagandist spin doctor.
Wisp, hold on. Just remember, guys, he literally said it was alright when they went after Disney and their what they were doing behind the scenes. And now he's saying they've changed their motives and now they're just going after Disney and what they do behind the scenes.
No, they haven't.
No,
This is a
but that's what he-
this is a very, very bad
Hold-
Morton Bailey tactic here that he's
No,
employing.
but guys, you're not listening to what he's actually saying. He said, I supported them when they just went after Disney
Mhm.
and what they do. He's now saying the Fandom Menace has become bastardized because they go after Disney and what they do.
Sounds like a
he's just
double.
complete-
Sounds like he's
Yeah.
turned a double bind around.
Yeah. So was he with them or is he just a liar? Because I'm just going to go with he's probably just a liar.
Either that or he just doesn't realize that he said contradictory things right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
It probably totally makes sense in his head.
Stupidity is also an option here.
Mm,
we're at the Matt Jarbo level of is he an idiot or is he retarded? That's
It may
twice
be-
in a week.
it may be an ingredient.
Well, Jarbo is definitely malicious.
Yes.
Like, we know that Matt Jarbo is malicious and a liar. I mean, he's an idiot too, but
Yeah, not every
no,
malicious person is competent.
We can't call him an idiot. We scientifically found out last night that he is actually retarded. Canadian science says so, isn't that right, Smug?
That was my deduction, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you are Canada's top scientist, are you not?
In calling people retarded, probably not.
he is Canadian science.
Canada's only got one scientist, so I'm assuming it's you. So
Let us not
Wasn't
speak of
Brussels
Matt Jarbo
also,
ever again.
also
Asda.
Canadian?
yeah, let us never speak of that man ever again. Let's just
Honest Matt has gave a show yesterday.
Honest
This is a
Matt.
piece of shit.
Honest Boulder man.
Mundane twat.
Now back to that.
Boulder twat.
at the very least, they had a defined goal of making their voices heard. The Fandom Menace, as it exists now, seems like it's only out for clicks and will obtain those clicks by any means necessary, even if that means lying and politicizing every little thing.
Oh no, I'm not.
So what you're doing right now, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
No, so politicization is spelled with an S.
Yes, fucking idiot.
I think it's the Americans do all what you do with an S with a Z.
It's like that's something you can notice about a lot of these yahoos that, like, either it's a bread propaganda or just don't get it. It's like they pretty much end up describing what they themselves are, and it's such a lack of self-awareness that it just boggles the mind.
Yeah. That's why I repeat myself about it all the time. This is narcissism. Yes. This is what narcissism looks like.
So
in
every
action.
Single video essayist is
and on top of that, just straight up stupidity.
I'm at the point where I say social justice is a collectivized movement of B cluster personality disorders. Like they've banded together into this Brethren Moon hive mind thing.
I don't know. I think like they're just simply retarded. That's it. Like I wouldn't look to do
people who are simply retarded don't just all join together into a mentally insane cult.
Yes, they do. Socialism is called that. Like the people who
but that's what we're dealing with here in the end. The whole cultural destruction movement is socialism fueled, even if a large majority of these idiots are not aware of that. That's why they're useful idiots. Useful idiots come in various ways and approaches of how they enact the will of the greater being that is the ideological being that fuels them.
The agenda.
Some may even believe that they are against socialism, but enact the very stuff. I've had to deal with such people who are openly and believe they are against social justice crap, but hold about 80% of the positions of social justice. They do not realize this because they think, oh, well, what I believe in is actually good and not social justice. Social justice is all the bad, insane stuff. You believe in the bad, insane stuff. And here's why. Can you explain this to me? You're just a hater. And then the exact same shit starts. I've seen this play out a couple times. It's baffling.
All right, so this
is what it'll be people who say like, don't shoot the message just because of the messenger. The problem is like the message is the issue, not the messenger.
So this is
the message is bad. The messenger is also bad, but
so this is I wouldn't say the largest section. Most of the sections are about the same size, about 6 minutes each, and this is the first actual size, normal sized section. So it goes from politicization to lies and rumors, to toxicity and harassment, and then whatever the hell the conclusion is. So,
yay.
Anyway, we're not going to get that far. Just keeping you appraised of what's happening because we're not.
Just keeping you updated.
What is going on?
Yeah.
Brave enough for policy.
I don't know what it is about the sequel trilogy, but apparently whether you like or dislike these movies can be seen as a political stance, which is completely fucking asinine to me. Well, I said...
That's because you don't understand anything. And this very frame here is perfect to illustrate that. Because your brain's falling out of your mouth.
Yes. It's like... The reason probably why you don't get it is because you simply don't get what's actually happening, my dude.
I mean,
he doesn't know what a political position even is.
Well, in some sense, he's right that it is kind of asinine that people treat it like a political stance to like or dislike the movie. But he's right, but he's right for the wrong reason. He thinks it's asinine because he doesn't understand why you would do it.
He's right.
Your liking or disliking of it will be politicized.
Yes. Which is stupid, but it is the case, and it's because if you don't like the Disney corporate product, it means you support everyone who also doesn't like the Disney corporate product, and that means you support everything that happened as a result of people not liking the Disney corporate product, or things that didn't even happen. Again, we don't know actually what happened to Kelly Marie Tran because she didn't. There's one screenshot of some anonymous Instagram comments, and that's not harassment. But Maybe it happened. We don't know. That's the problem. But if you don't like product, it means you support this definitely awful and ongoing harassment that happened to her, and you kick puppies, and you're responsible for the stock market crash of 1929 and the fact that sometimes the sun doesn't shine, and you make little babies cry, etc., etc. That's what it is. That's why it's political, because if you don't like it, then you have bad politics, because people who have quote unquote bad politics don't like it also, and you must agree with them. That's it.
Yeah.
That's why it's a political stance. That's why Mahler is treated like he's a bad, evil incel Nazi man, even though he's like the most apolitical person on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
It's
right.
silly. It's just ridiculous.
Here is Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh, yeah, that's the word.
This guy looks like an evil Chris Ray-Gun. And also know the politics the Fandom Menace discusses are not unrelated to the movies, and going after the people that made the movies is perfectly valid. It depends on what exactly the argument is and why you're directing that towards certain people. Like, people talk about Kathleen Kennedy a lot. It's like, I'm sure she had some say, but not, like, she didn't write the story. She maybe checked a few boxes, but other than that, I don't think she had that much control. So...
Oh, Kennedy put Johnson in place.
Well, that's
to
what I
be
mean.
her puppet.
She says, "Here's our
be a
guy.
puppet writer.
Here's our guy," and then that's it. She washes her hands because she's just the producer. So it's not like
yeah, but that doesn't mean that she didn't have influence. It's just it's just her alibi.
Well, yeah, but she obviously chose him. That's about as far as it goes. We can't say she was in the room writing the script. We can't say that. We don't know. So
she can have made a lot of the decisions, and as we know now, as all this stuff about the writing teams has been become public, of her writing team, and the troubles with the whole Mandalorian Favreau thing, it is very likely that Kennedy had a big influence on what would happen.
I wouldn't
in
say
those
so
movies.
because like Rey is like the most emptiest character.
Just like Kennedy.
Yes, but like the point is that like what she had influence over, as far as I know, that was officially confirmed, is that in Rogue One, she had a complaint that we haven't seen enough of Vader, and we should have a scene with him. And then the writing team had to like add like an additional scene where he like just murders the rebels. Other than that, like all that she has done is that like she looked at like concept arts and decided like which should be in the production in the final go, and that's it.
And to reiterate, it's like the scenes with Vader are fantastic. It's just all it amounts to is just, oh, this is where Vader was before Episode 4, and that's it.
Yeah, it was just a complete fan service. It's
just
fan service, and
he
it
was
makes
there,
the
that's
opening
it.
scene of Episode 4 make no sense.
Yes.
Yes, great
No
scene.
matter how good it looks.
Just goes nowhere.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how good it looks if it breaks the continuity and the sense.
Exactly.
On a smaller scale, it does so on a smaller
We're
scale.
not talking about the Lightspeed RAM here.
Yeah, but that is the biggest scale. The Darth Vader scene does a similar thing on a much smaller scale.
Yes.
Because that just messes with the story. It doesn't mess with the whole world. But it's essentially the same mechanic, the same flaw.
I would say it's more an inconsistency than anything. Since it's much smaller scale.
all right.
Say I don't know what it is, but I think we all know what it is. Apparently, if you like The Last Jedi, you're an SJW cuck, while if you hated it, you're a right-wing misogynist. I don't think it's crazy to say that this mindset is not even remotely accurate, but I'd be remiss to not tell you that there are definitely people who fit this description. Just by looking at the uninformed cesspool that we call film Twitter, we can see that a lot of left-leaning feminist types really related to Rey and Rose in the sequel trilogy. They really wanted Poe and Finn to be gay. They liked the trilogy's themes regarding identity.
Okay, thank you for correctly assessing this. that gives him back some credence, because I thought he would just be completely one-sided. Looks like he's not entirely. And personal note, if you can identify with Rose Tico, you must have borderline personality disorder, because that is what, due to how she's written, comes across as. And I do not believe, I said this before, I do not believe that Rian Johnson is capable of deliberately writing a character with borderline personality disorder, but that it just came out as if like that, because he writes similar to Abrams. Every scene needs to be amazing, and so Rose Tico has to have an emotional reaction in every scene. However, she has no consistent emotional household, if you will. It's just random in every scene to be appropriate emotional stuff for what's going on, to reflect off of that, which makes her seem completely emotionally erratic and irrational. And that's why this starts with with from the very beginning, where at first she's totally happy to see her idol Finn, and then when he's not doing exactly what she expects of him, zaps him and kidnaps him.
Yay!
This is what a borderline girl would do, and this is just the start of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
this is just the start of it.
It's more
it
about
continues throughout the whole bloody movie.
Yes, that is the textbook definition of crazy bitch.
It was more like Rian Johnson was trying to teach a lesson about simping and how dangerous it is when you meet your fans.
Yeah, but the problem is the movie makes Rose look correct.
Yeah, well,
which is
even Hitler made mistakes.
Sorry, poorly worded.
Guys,
the movie frames it as if Rose is correct. It doesn't make her look correct.
She's absolutely not.
Yeah, but guys, no, to be honest with you, I think she might be correct, because don't we all just want to taser black people?
Yes.
Don't you dare bring that up. Let's not.
Come on, guys. I mean, if Rian Johnson thinks it's perfectly okay, and he's the greatest filmmaker that's ever existed, don't you think it's right to just taser black people and then kidnap them against their will?
Yeah, I remember that one scene from Last Jedi where Rian Johnson just
and
walks into the
sexually
scene,
assault them
and he's gonna
with
say,
an
"I'm gonna say the
unwarranted
N-word."
kiss.
Yeah.
Guys, just abuse your negotiation friends.
The negotiations were short.
Please.
Let's please continue.
Yes,
Finally
came out of the corner to stop
this. That's really relevant to the left. Meanwhile, on the right, we've got people who hate the movies for daring to question the past and for spreading SJW propaganda. Lo and behold, the people who say shit like this are often the same people currently representing the Fandom Menace movement. What I'm about...
Okay, it's a question, because you complain about that. Are you possible to name me what social justice warriors want, what is classified as their propaganda at the same time, and if these two things are congruent, and whether that is being shown in the movie in question? Can you do that? Because right now you're just blanket condemning the accusation without any assessment at all.
There's no evidence really as well. It's literally just him saying these things, and he's not provided anything to back up any of his claims.
Yeah, we didn't even get the 2 Twitter screenshots.
Yeah, there's nothing even for the like, it's just feminists agreeing with liking Ray. It's like we know that because we've seen it ourselves. But imagine if you haven't seen that. What's the evidence to prove that they are doing that? I can't believe I'm actually defending feminists here. It's fucking weird.
Like he's mockingly referring to social justice propaganda. Well, part of feminism, one of their big things is how you need to listen to women and their lived experience and when they speak their truth and yada 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 blah 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 whatever. And apparently there was enough of that in this movie that it caught the attention of at least Jonathan McIntosh. I don't remember if I saw other articles about how TLJ teaches you the importance of listening to women, but he definitely wrote one, and he's not an anti-feminist, which means he took that message away. So was that the intention? I don't know. I haven't heard from Ryan Johnson. But if we're going to engage in a little death of the author, then I can see why it would be there, because the movie constantly portrays the female characters as being correct even when they are not.
Even when they destroy everything.
Yeah, but here's another thing, right? He went, all these crazy lefty feminist SJWs really connected with Ray and stuff like that. So what you're telling me, there was something in her characterization and the way the story went, so that the crazies who always see things in a political lens fully supported it and really like connected. And you're trying to say there is no propaganda to that? Because that sounds like there is propaganda with it. That sounds like something was purposely put in to these movies so that those sort of people would connect with that character. So you can't say there's no propaganda and then say the people who only follow propaganda like this character. That doesn't make sense. For me, it just doesn't add up. It just feels like it's a contradictory argument. But anyway.
What I'm about to do right now should not be seen as a political take. In fact, it's probably one of the most apolitical things I've ever said in my entire life.
No, it's
Having
not.
women in a movie
It's not.
is not SJW propaganda. And if you're offended in any way by what I just said...
That is the... Why would you even say that?
Because that's what it always is. That's what they always say is the Phantom Menace's problem, is that there are women in the movie.
When
that's
repeatedly
always what they say it is.
Mm-hmm. This is the as I said earlier, the making a different argument to hide from the actual argument that's being made.
Yes, the Mott and Bailey, which that is what it always is. It is always they hated it because there's women in it, and he's not even showing that. Like nobody ever can.
If you only
what
want,
they do
okay,
is they will
if you-
take something that a Phantom Menace member says and interpret it in the most obtuse way possible to get "I didn't like there were women in the movie" out of it. He's not even showing us that. He's just saying it and expecting us to take it on faith.
Mm-hmm.
And what man wants to see movies that have only men in it all the time?
Gay men? I don't know.
Maybe?
I don't know.
But also what these people also don't acknowledge is that the Fandom Menace is comprised of everyone. It is as diverse as social justice only can dream to be. Every race, every sex, every disorder in the book.
Yeah, it's
because it's just fans who like Star Wars, and that can mean anyone.
It's almost like it's a naturally grown grassroots thing.
Yeah,
that attracts all races, creeds, colours, and everything. Unlike the
as opposed
one.
Star Wars is so generic. The actual Star Wars, the OT, is so generic that even jihadis watched A New Hope in order to rile themselves up to fight against what they saw as the evil empire, being the United States, while they saw themselves as the good rebels who blow up the Death Star in their suicide runs. That's how generic these stories are.
Yeah.
And when he says it's not SJW propaganda, then please, if you claim that, you explain to me what social justice's core points are, messages are, what social justice propaganda would look like to demonstrate to me that it's not in those movies. Because right now you're just claiming it isn't there, while I'm telling you it is there, and we've been telling you the points of it time and again, and it's not. There are women in the movie. No, it's horrible, useless women whom nobody with a sense of ethics and brain cells wants to be like, because these are incompetent women who are propped up to look like they are the heroes of the universe when they destroy everything with their incompetence. But a narcissistic woman would never see that, would always see herself as being completely right because women can't be wrong. And that is what those movies are doing. Because if this is the fucking joke where ironically the TLJ failed. If we look at Poe's story, he was right all along. Holdo was wrong. Leia was wrong. Poe was right. He was right to rebel. He was right to mutiny. Because Holdo is a shitty, absolutely incompetent leader with no good plan, unable to have a fight, unable to sabotage the other ship, unable to do any bloody thing. Poe should have taken over the control of this bullshit ship. They might have done something, because apparently the Supremacy, dumbest name ever, didn't even utilize its capabilities as a super carrier with I don't know how many million TIE fighters. They could have just swarmed the fucking ship to death.
Now, to be fair, a lot of Empire ships had silly names like that. That's the only thing I'm going to defend, is that Supremacy is not a name that's out of the ordinary for a Imperial starship.
Yes, I am.
The British Navy has
in the main movies. This cheesy. Come on.
I mean,
what's
they have a whole class of Star Destroyer called the Victory class.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Let's see. I think the big Super Star Destroyer at the end of Return of the Jedi is the Executor.
Yeah, the Executor class.
That's also a fine name if you ask me.
Supremacy. Supremacy is not great, but it's not like awful.
I think it's too cheesy on the nose for the politics that he wanted to. That Johnson wanted to put in.
In that sense, yes, I would agree, especially with how utterly ham-handed the sequel trilogy went in on the Nazi imagery. Mm-hmm. And I know, obviously, Stormtroopers was a Nazi term,
but it's not. Stormtroopers isn't a Nazi term. Stormtroopers comes from World War One.
Okay.
Yeah, the Nazis had the Sturmstaffel and the Sturmabteilung. That is the SS and the SA. The SA, the Sturmabteilung, means division. The Storm Division was the Nazi Party's militant arm for the actual fraction in Parliament. Which all the parties started to adopt. But I do believe, if I get this right, it is the Red Socialists, the Communists, who started doing this. So the Nazis just reacted with that because you needed to protect yourself. So because it's a thing of an arms race, essentially.
Yeah, because in the Weimar Republic, before the Nazis got control, it was pretty much just like there was fighting in the streets between.
Yeah, so I don't. That is not. Yeah, and that is not depicting the Nazis as the victims. They just followed the example that the communists gave.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and the Sturmstaffel, the SS, that is the guys that you know.
Yeah.
That's a real military thing.
All right, let's go.
To you, you're a bigot in some capacity and are probably part of the problem. That's not even remotely a partisan take, at all. But now here's the deal, right? You are entirely free to dislike the female characters in Star Wars. You're free to dislike Rey, you're free to dislike Rose, you're free to dislike Holdo, Leia, Cara Dune, fucking fucking.
You're the absolute idiot because you now made the actual pseudo argument, the bullshit accusation that is wrong, the gaslighting argument, where it is claimed that people just hate the female characters per se, generalized.
I mean, that's right.
Them.
No.
That is not true. People hate badly written characters. Leia is great. Cara Dune is great. The Disney characters are shit. They're not proper people. They're not good. If you use them as villains, that would work. Ventress, EU character, showed up in the Clone Wars. Very, very like character. Darth Talon, very like character. In many ways. Ahsoka, beloved character.
Yeah, but Wisp, the problem with what he just said is he's just going to tirade about how it's wrong that we just hate female characters, to then just say it's perfectly fine if you don't like the female characters. It's like, well, which one is it? Because it's quite clear that you don't like people not just liking female characters.
Well, he's probably going to say that you're free to dislike the female characters, you just can't dislike them because they're women or you're a bad person.
Yeah, no, but that's literally what he's just said. But then he's also tried to defend it, saying you can do what you can like what you want to like. It's like
Either that or he's going to say it's okay to dislike them, but he doesn't want to associate with you.
Yeah, and this is what is called a double bind, if we talk psychological abuse. And in film, I would say, I think that the term is catch-22.
Yes, I know, but what I'm doing is like what Axelot does a lot. It's trying to listen to what he's actually saying, because we know what his arguments are going to be pretty fucking thought up, and there's no point calling him a hypocrite. It's the fact that what is his actual, what is the thing that he's actually arguing about, and it's literally just turned into women with stuff, and it's really weird.
Well, that's all it was ever going to be, because I mean, you can only go after the Fandom Menace for either being clickbait or supposedly hating women, because otherwise you might have to deal with the idea that the new trilogy is not good.
Yeah.
And that is a fault that must never be made possible. For then he would have to rethink his whole worldview, and that is simply too much energy required and too much pain. So when you have to rebuild, reconstruct, rebuild, destroy and rebuild your worldview in certain aspects with a reality check, with a reality update, that is painful. That's why people shy away from it.
Here is the Swedish chef. A purple-haired lesbian kamikazed a white ship named Supremacy. I don't know if she was a lesbian or not. Yeah, no SJW propaganda here. So
Holdo was very much like a lesbian.
I don't think my mind ever went to politics, because it doesn't go there. It just looks at the scenario and why things happen the way they did.
You didn't read the supporting material with Holdo, did you?
Dear God, no. Why the hell would I do that?
Well, I don't know, because you're a sucker for punishment. I don't know.
It just was one of those silly things that Disney
I've known you
did.
for a year
They
now.
just announced that Holdo is gay now. That's
Really?
it. But it
Yeah,
happened after the movie, so who
After
the
the
fuck
movie,
cares?
she's gay. Oh, wow.
They pulled a rolling.
Fantastic. Isn't that wonderful? Well, who cares? The reason why we don't like this scene is not because she's whatever. It's because it breaks lore. This does not make any sense. And it's just this.
Nobody
her whole
should be
ideas
gay in
make no
Star
sense.
Wars.
It would have been good had she turned out to be the spy, the Imperial
I honestly
spy.
thought she was going to be. I honestly thought she was going to be the spy.
Yeah, because if you would want to write a story like that, this is how you do it.
Oh, it's very surface level. Like someone mentions there's a spy, that means someone's a spy, but they never did, because they didn't bother to have any sort of intrigue or mystery or elements of capacity for multiple plots. No, it's just we don't know what the hell she's doing. What are we trying to do? Are we running away? Are we fighting back? What are we doing? And she was just there. and
I mean, even
waiting
if
for
they
that
had,
moment, that
they
the
could have
story-
stuck. They could have stuck with this retarded idea of a space chase, which doesn't really make too much sense in Star Wars, if you ask me. But let's give it the benefit of the doubt. We run with that, and you had the movie just play this part of the cast, just play out on the ship and trying to figure out the mole, and have this detective scene going on that with false accusations and drama and all that all that crap.
Even that is silly.
In order to figure out whatever they can do to be able to jump away again safely from the big bad ship.
Yeah, but even that is silly because we're talking about being under fire from an advancing superior force, and while that's happening, we're playing detective and we're investigating things and all this other bullshit. It's just this
of course, and the mole would of course be on a suicide mission because the ship's supposed to be destroyed. Yes, of course, it doesn't make sense, but it would still make more sense than what Rian Johnson did.
Giving some reasoning for a character to do something aside from simply stand there. Yes, this is true, but this is the problem with Rian Johnson's elements, is he's just creating a character as a set piece until their function is achieved, as opposed to a character striving for something, and then we know what they're trying to do in their plot, which you kind of need to do in stories. You kind of need to know why characters exist, not because I'm the new leader. It's like, wait a second.
Who are you?
Akbar. He's in the room, isn't he? Isn't he pretty awesome?
Yeah.
No, we're not going to have him in charge because
he's a manfish.
I don't know why. Why would you not have Akbar of all the things to include?
Yeah,
because Smud. No, but Smud. Could you imagine Admiral Akbar with like purple hair? It just no.
Purple
it's just
fins.
ridiculous.
You got a fin change.
It's kind of like how Rian Johnson's saying he's a real fan, or he's been a fan ever since he was a kid. It's like, really?
Yeah, that's why he kills Akbar.
Yeah.
That's why he said no one knows what Y-Wings are, because he's a real fan.
Because everyone expected Akbar, who was on the ship, to be in charge, but nope. Like, no, he didn't.
Ryan Johnson didn't say no one knows who Y-Wings are, did he? I thought that was AT-AT
I think that was Williams.
No, that was
wasn't
Just
that
Right. Just Right did that.
Oh god, there's so many of these people.
Yeah, but but Ryan Johnson didn't put Y-Wings into the movie because there was that idea of he wanted to redo the whole thing and he just didn't want Y-Wings.
Yeah,
he wanted worse bombers.
What he wanted was, he wanted to, the way George Lucas homaged World War I dogfights, he wanted to homage World War II bombing runs. So he made horrible, horrible bombers that make no sense in space. And named them. I forget
they
what
make
the
no sense in
designation
any
are.
way.
But I forget what the designation are, but it contains B-17, which was the American bombers in World War II.
That's another great example of the set piece that has no other function until we have to wait for that event, that operation. So we have to have this extended scenario in this elaborate corridor of the detonator. Why does a bomber have a remote detonator and a ladder and all this other bullshit just to get to this dramatic scene?
Why is a bomber dropping bombs in space?
It's even worse. So the TIE bomber does shoot heavy payloads. However, it doesn't just drop bombs on things like that, because that's nonsense in space. The thing is, the worst thing is that these bombers, even within the whole context of Star Wars and space battle in Star Wars, make zero sense because they can't take, I think a single hit, even maybe 2 hits.
They can't
the thing with rebel ships. Yeah, and there's a big difference in the design idea of Empire ships versus rebel ships. Empire is a mass flying coffins. That's what TIE fighters are. They're a cockpit strapped with an engine and two lasers, and you have masses of them that don't give a shit about how many people they lose.
Yeah,
they have no shields,
they don't even have
no hyperdrive,
in them.
no nothing. They're just flying guns with a normal engine. They're not very good. They don't have shields, no nothing. Rebel ships there are few people. The rebels are very few. Every man lost is a big loss to them. So their ships have shields. They have their own hyperdrive capabilities. They have so you can't get stranded in a rebel ship. In an X-wing, Y-wing, A-wing, you can't get stranded in that, or a B-wing. And B-wings, by the way, are also a type of bomber that was even shown in was shown in Return of the Jedi. Anyway, they even have an inside cockpit atmosphere. That's why the rebel pilots, you can see their faces. Of course, that's retroactively probably explained because they wanted to see the actors' faces when they do the ship scenes, while the Empire ships, the TIE fighters, and almost all of the variants, with some exceptions in the EU, do not even have an atmosphere within the cockpit. There's a vacuum inside. That's why they have the full helmet with the breathing equipment in it. So, rebel ships, they can take a punch. They have shields. You need TIE fighters barraging them with laser shots until they get to damaging the hull and any ship systems. These bombers have an inside atmosphere, so they need shields in the first place. Why are they destroyed in a single shot by any TIE fighter and then just crash into each other? Like the most retarded thing. Why are they so damn slow? B-wings and Y-wings are bombers. They're not the fastest ships. They are actually slower than TIE fighters. But they are capable and they are safe ships. It is completely retarded to have these things there.
Also, shouldn't bombers also have like a fighting corps with them as well, like a squadron, like what used to happen.
Usually you have an escort.
Only Poe got treated like the villain for being the escort to the bombing run.
Yeah, well, being a single ship fighter that escorts a whole bunch of bombers, that is a bit odd, even if you're the ace pilot, because a bomber squadron is basically defenseless. Yeah, but these things are just too fragile. They're too fragile for Star Wars.
You know what could have made them a little bit more acceptable is if you were going to homage the B-17. B-17s had multiple turrets on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, these
bombers did not.
They had a turret. I think they had a backside turret.
They had one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but that wasn't even utilized much, if at all. And the Y-wings, I think they were two-seaters with an extra gunner.
A pilot and a second gunner to man the turret on the top. And that's the thing. The Y-wing, in canon, the Y-wing was out of date by the time of A New Hope. Like, it was an older ship. It's why it got phased out for the B-wing at the time of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, it was a Republic ship, and it looks really cool with all the armor stripped. That's why it looks like all this tech is sticking out, because it's the armor is actually missing to make the thing cheaper and to more quickly repair it, so that they don't always have to remove it. They had really nice lore for this thing. And the B-wing was a multi-purpose ship. I think they made it weird in I think in Rebels, where they had the plot of how they got the first prototypes of it, where it was a super fast ship. The B-wing in the games was never a super fast ship. It was equal to the Y-wing, but it had more versatile weaponry. Like, it had iron cannons on top. It could load several types of missiles and rockets and all of that. It was an amazing ship.
Anyway, we've been talking about this way too long.
Because we're fans! And he's not!
Doesn't really matter. You're allowed to dislike these characters, but when your reason for disliking them is that by them simply being women, that they're now pushing an SJW agenda, you're fucking bigot at that point. Maybe
What?
Maybe
I don't care. I really don't care. Like we've talked about
called it,
this.
you guys.
Let's just keep going.
He's the bigot.
This is
Yeah,
dumb.
guys, yeah. Let's keep going.
He's the bigot because he's making
No,
false
we can
accusations.
keep going. I just want to say
Just
I
keep
called
going.
it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's just keep going because this is just we're going over the same point.
I haven't been looking hard enough, but I am yet to see how any of these characters simply existing is any form of SJW propaganda. Like, we could totally get into the specifics about how some of these characters were very badly written, but that is entirely separate from them existing to push some fucking SJW uprising or some shit. Like, what the fuck? The reason the Fandom Menace is so adamant
You
about
are
Star
so
Wars now
dumb.
having an SJW agenda is because of some statements made by the Disney higher-ups that essentially said that they want to make the Star Wars series more diverse to appeal to a wider audience. It makes perfect sense why they would do this, right? You know,
No. First off,
That
Star Wars
is-
always had a wide audience. That's why it got so big. It had the absolute general public audience. And what Kennedy said was not making it more diverse. She said the Force is female. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
just like
the
look at like
promo-
old footage of like people that are standing in line to watch The Empire Strikes Back with the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
You're going to see like different races and like mostly like teens and like adults waiting in line to like watch the movie, and they're just excited about like the story itself and how
Mhm.
they're gonna turn out. And Kennedy is like talking that like this was like just strictly like white male audience.
Yeah,
all
and,
this time.
and broadening your appeal to try to appeal to a more diverse, wider base of customers
The open market.
tends to water down and make your story worse.
Yeah, and you're
George
already
Lucas was not-
appealing to all the world,
Yeah,
including Arab Muslim extremists.
George Lucas was not writing a story to try to appeal to white dudes. George Lucas was telling a story. He had a story he wanted to tell, and he caught lightning in a bottle, and he had the studio commit blatantly illegal acts to get his movie, and it became the best-selling movie in the world in history at the time. So no, it does not make sense for them to try to appeal to a wider base because they already had a money printing machine before they did that.
Mm-hmm. If you change that, you're not appealing to a wider base, but a smaller one, which is exactly what Kennedy wanted. She wanted to appeal to a very specific demographic. That is, by the way, not very spendy, if you will. And
The real
his
problem-
subtitle that he used here with most people's problems are actually with the writing, but that's not the people I'm talking about. The writing issues are completely congruent with all the propaganda bullshit.
Yeah, they're one and the same.
Yeah. This guy couldn't name the writing issues because he would name those very things. I don't think he will ever mention any of the actual writing issues these movies have, because he would betray his position of it's not any of the things, blah. He'd derp out.
All right.
You know, it makes Star Wars more accessible to more people, which is a win for them. Like, this is such an innocuous statement that I genuinely don't know how you can have a problem
Yeah,
with
and because
that, quite frankly.
look,
Women and minorities.
chasing your amazing wider audience.
He's about to say that they've always been in Star Wars. So then why did they need to try to broaden the appeal by making it more diverse if it's always been diverse?
And none,
Yeah.
none of those characters
And if
right
you're-
they are from Disney.
If your widening audience is so amazing to do, why did the box office drop into the gutter?
The thing that immediately debunks these people's argument is that Star Wars's popularity is so big that their audience is pretty much literally everyone.
Yeah.
So when they say it's like they try to widen their audience, there is no more room to widen.
Yeah, and he's now this
It
fake
already-
argument that he built up.
Everyone.
And now this fake argument that he put up, this phantom argument, this fallacy, this strawman is the word I've been looking for an hour, for fuck's sake. That oh, they just hate women. Here are other women that were always in Star Wars. No, you asshole. We bring up characters, as I did before, characters like Ahsoka as examples of better written characters that are beloved, which contrast with the bullshit, propaganda, insane characters of the Disney movies.
Yes.
We hate the badly written characters, and those happen to be a lot of the SJW women, because they can only write narcissistic Mary Sue twats that destroy the world.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And while they make all the men look like idiots, when the men are actually right.
And that's the whole problem with this statement is that when you advertise yourself based on, oh, we want to start diversifying the world, we want to start telling more stories, what you're doing, what makes it propaganda, is that you are giving away what your priority is when you're writing. You're not story first. You are diversity first. You are working backwards from whatever it is you want. You say, okay, I want to tell more diverse stories. It's like, no, take a story, figure out a story. Then if you want to make it diverse in the casting, in what the characters are, who the characters are, go ahead. But you need to be story first. You need to not be agenda first. And yes, diversity is an agenda. The promotion of diversity is an agenda, which means if you're promoting diversity, it is literally propaganda.
And it always ends up as tokenism.
Message. You can want diversity. You can think diversity is good, but if you're promoting diversity, literally by definition, it is propaganda. Because that's the message you're trying to promote with your story, is the importance of diversity.
Yeah, you're not exploring the story or the characters. You are really just preaching and moralizing.
Yes, you're saying, okay, what can I make? What ethnicity or what gender do I make this character, instead of saying, okay, who do I want this character to be in terms of motivation, in terms of history, in terms of goals? You're not writing a character with a story in mind. You are ticking a box, and it results, and then you work backwards from there, and you end up with these characters who are essentially devoid of any real personality beyond. I mean, I can't even, I don't even know Rey's personality. She's naive and wants a family, and then later, instead of wanting a family, she wants her family to have been special, and then
she seems like a weird autist.
I think what we're getting from this video is this guy doesn't actually have a clue about anything that's going on.
He's just regurgitating the propaganda against the Fandom Menace.
Even don't just say no shit. I know. All I'm saying is I'm just spelling it out. Just saying, I think we can all pretty much agree wholeheartedly that this guy literally doesn't have a clue what is going on and is trying to pretend to be used to be a member of the Fandom Menace when he hasn't actually got a clue about anything that goes on.
No, I don't. Does he claim to have been a part of the Fandom Menace? I think he's just trying to pretend to be neutral and nuanced and measured, while in truth he is, after all, mostly one-sided.
Yeah, and he started off by poisoning the well. I mean, he led with, there's all these people who have a problem with it because it has women in it. that's not, you can't pretend you're doing an even-handed look at who the Fandom Menace is. If you started off with, there's people, the Fandom Menace has a problem with the new Star Wars because it has women in it. Unless you can show it, which you can't because it's not real, and you don't even give us the token 2 examples of random Twitter accounts, then you've played your hand already. I mean, you play your hand with the title of this video, but like, I cannot, this is not an honest look at this topic if you're being this reductive about it. If you're doing they just hate that there's women in it line, because that's the giveaway that you are not engaging this topic in good faith. You are engaging this topic from the perspective of someone who is mad at them for not liking product.
Yeah. No, yeah, no, that's yeah, but that's what I mean. Once you say they just don't like it because it's a woman, it's like, right, so now I know 100% that you are just upset that we don't consume product, and then move on to next product. So your arguments are basically meaningless now, because there's just no...
I mean, he kind of gave that away earlier when he said he didn't understand why people were getting so upset over the whatever. What did he call it? Did he call it a movie about space wizards?
No,
that was Patrick Williams.
No, he just said that this space movie, people are getting a bit.
Oh yes, people care too much about this space movie.
Had he said the space wizards thing, had he said that, we would have paused. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like he's going like, people are caring too much about this movie. It's quite clear that he's a huge fan of the sequel trilogy, because he's getting way too defensive of.
Yeah, he's playing the aloof, disconnected, casual observer. He's clearly not. I mean, honestly, you give away that you're not a neutral observer when you make a 30-minute video, but and
that is based on straw man.
Yeah, and especially when you go for the woman argument. Once you do
which
that,
is the main straw man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, no, this is something that's, if you're a casual observer, you don't go for that because you think, people wouldn't just hate something because of women. There must be a different reason to it. That's what normal people think. Whereas the sequel fans go, hate women, must just hate women, it's just hate women. It's like, yeah, we get it. Anyway.
Minorities have been in Star Wars, some in very prominent roles pre-Disney. So why don't you have a problem with those characters, but you do with the new ones?
Oh, you dropped
the
this
old
one,
characters.
But don't get it twisted. I'm not
Because
saying
they
that
were
every
well
diverse
written.
character in the Disney era is well written, but that's entirely separate from them being a diverse character. This leads into something.
It's often
Sorry.
different.
Sorry, I'm sorry, but he's literally he's answered where his rant's going to be. Why were you perfectly okay with these well-written, diverse characters, but you're not okay with these badly written, diverse characters? You've answered your question, man.
Yeah, but he works under the assumption that their issue is that they're diverse, even though, again, he hasn't actually demonstrated this anywhere.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's answered his question though. That's what annoys me, because he's just literally said, "Why can't you just like these diverse, badly written characters?" It's like, well, no, because they're badly written.
How can you make this video and contradict yourself within the same sentence and not notice it? This is not cognitive dissonance anymore. This is doublethink. He's not even noticing how he's contradicting himself and saying two things at the same time that are mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
He's lost his mind.
Yeah. He is not a casual observer. He is a full-on fucking Disnoid.
He's also not a rational being.
Yeah, he's quite clearly a Disnoid who's upset that the Fandom Menace is gaining traction and is, quite popular with normal people, whereas the sequel trilogy is just like hemorrhaging money.
This leads into something that ends up becoming a much larger topic than we really have time for today, so maybe I'll save that for a different video. So what I'll say for now, though, is that representation is a double-edged sword. You can have extremely well-written characters that just so happen to be diverse, or you can have characters who are written around that diversity, that diversity is part of their character in a non-pandering way. But ultimately, it's not really about the diversity, it's about the way you write it. Criticize the way a character was written 12 Ways to Fucking Sunday. Nobody would really care.
Okay, I think he's confusing the concept of pandering with this, what people refer to as diversity hires, when the only characteristic of a character in a story is they are the black guy or they are the white woman or whatever. It's like, yes, then it's obvious because they have nothing else.
That's what we call tokenism.
Right.
She literally just explained the Fandom Menace's problem with the new diverse characters, and he's pretending that he doesn't understand why. He just explained it.
What he's doing is he takes the valid criticism of the Fandom Menace, claims they don't have that position. I have that position, which makes me sane. And the Fandom Menace is evil and dumb.
Yeah, but like Axelot said, he's literally just, as I said, he's answered his question about what the why the Fandom Menace thinks the way it thinks. But because he just cannot accept that he might think this, that there's a possibility that it might be a rational reason, he's like, no, there must be something else to it. And it's like, he sees the truth, but he just does not it's like, it blinds. The truth is blinding and scary, and he's like, no, I know, I want to go back to the darkness of lies, and that's it. So I'm really glad we're not going to finish this video, because this video is just going to be fucking just stupid.
I wonder what the last 2 minutes will be.
Stalin will come up at some point.
We're not getting that out of the way, so...
Apparently, it's a karaoke of gangster rap.
Oh my god, no.
Wait,
I
was more aiming at the last 2 minutes are always the insanity up to 11.
Oh. I was going to say a karaoke of a gangster rap would be less embarrassing for it to be a Raid Shadow Legends ad.
That's
the point.
Why don't you have I hate this person.
Hey,
Let's go.
moving on.
Bringing the character's race, gender, etc. into it, you start to look a little bit sus. For example, Rose
Who's
Tico
you?
from The Last Jedi is a character worthy of criticism. There are many faults with the character. You can criticize the character all you want, but as soon as you bring race into it, you kind of out yourself as a bigot, especially when that character's race and gender have nothing to do with their character.
Okay, so first
the woman
of all,
thing
her
has
gender
something to do with her.
Yeah, her gender absolutely has to do with her character. And you like, when you bring her race into it, with that little bitty, which TFM has done, show it then.
Yeah,
Show
the Fandom
me.
Menace has not brought the race
token
in.
Twitter posts.
The people who had a problem with her race, or rather ethnicity, were the Chinese, who don't like the Vietnamese. Because she's not simply Asian, she's Vietnamese. And the Chinese don't like the Vietnamese. Just as the Chinese don't like the blacks.
Hold on, Wisp, are you telling me that not all slanty-eyed yellow people are the same?
What?
That's just not true. Next thing you'll say that not all black people are the same. That's not true.
What?
All
they're all
white people
clones.
are the same.
They're all clones. Clone army. That's why they recruited
oh.
Finn, because he's a clone, right?
Yeah,
What?
He's an albino clone.
It's like I thought all people who squinted were Chinese. So now you tell me there's like Vietnamese. It's like what the fuck is all this? Next thing you'll be like there's some sort of like thing called like Japanese. I'd be like, no, that's just the food. God.
My
God.
God.
Weird.
Oh, like that one Tumblr post from years ago that said Spanish is a language, it's not an ethnicity.
What?
Oh, somebody said white people shouldn't learn Spanish, and then
Well, it's
Okay, Spanish not Spaniards
well,
not white confirmed.
Did you hear
They
that
were
one
never
where it was
white.
like, why do people from England speak English? It's an American language. Shouldn't they speak something European, like a Ugandan? And it's like, what? Wait, hold on. That sentence makes no sense whatsoever.
My God.
Number one,
Problem is
Uganda's in
that
Africa. Number
This
two, shut the
retardation is indistinguishable from what some people really believe. So on the internet, you can't tell anymore whether someone means that in earnest.
Oh, this person meant it in earnest. But
Amazing.
the thing is, at the end of the day, my wording of what you're trying to tell me when they're all squinty-eyed people are Chinese, that is literally how the SJWs and the woke see all Asian people. They're all the same. People forget that when you say Asian, you have to also include India. Now, do Indians look like Chinese? No, India's in Asia.
The Indian subcontinent is not. Those are not Asian people. They're more closely related to Caucasians. They're technically
India,
very dark-skinned white people.
Yeah, but India is in Asia.
I know, that's why they claim the Pakistanis are Asian, which is insane.
But here's the thing: so you put all the Asians together.
The hypocrisy is for Pakistanis, they claim those are Asian because they live in Asia, which, despite their actual race, ethnicity, genetic haplogroup, makeup, whatever. However, the white South Africans, they do not count as Africans, although they happen to live and be born on the African continent.
Yeah.
Those are white people.
You
So
can be
the
black
whole
in the inside.
classification of race and ethnicity is bollocks.
Yeah, it's just a whatever we want when we want it.
Yeah.
To suit our view. So yeah. So this whole thing about you got on it to an ethnicity, it's like no, we don't really care what Kelly Marie Tran was. Also, it's in the Star Wars universe. She's not Asian in the Star Wars universe. She's whatever planet she comes from.
Yeah,
she's a humanoid.
just a human.
Yeah.
The races of humans don't mean anything in the Star Wars galaxy.
Yeah, it's like Han Solo is not a white Western man because there's no such thing as a white Western man in the Star Wars universe. Because what's Western? What's even white? Do they class each other as white with stuff? Is there a race issue in the Star Wars universe between humans?
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense that you might end up with these backwater planets, especially with people looking a distinct way, because for generations they lived there, and when you have just your 2,000 people of a population of one species, over the generations they will all look more or less the same in their respective way, and you will be able to tell, this is a human from Tatooine, and look at the Twi'leks. They have the pink colored Twi'leks. They have the blue colored, the green colored. They have the ones with the cone ears. They have the ones with the normal ears. And the Twi'leks don't have race issues between those, as far as we know. So that's not the issue. The thing with Star Wars is
Revenge and Twi'lek.
Yeah, the thing with Star Wars is merely that if there are conflicts, it is between the species as a whole, because that's where then the whole, if you want to, the whole quasi-racist issue is elevated to a higher level, the same that Star Trek does it. All humans are now working together, and all conflicts are now between species from different planets. They are representative of the cultures of the different nations of Earth. This is a metaphor. While it shows us at the same time that we humans are actually one thing. We are quite homogeneous compared to another species.
Yeah.
All right, here's
But yeah, these SJWs, of course, they can't get it because
Here's-
they're insane.
here's JS. He looks like he belongs in the average sequel trilogy fan versus average OT enjoyer meme with "Bring Me the Horizon" playing in the background.
Yep.
How much do we want to cover from this video?
I don't know, not much left. I don't think.
Let's go to the 10-minute mark.
Yeah. Okay.
Much like repression in media, idpol is a double-edged sword too. Another example of Disney supposedly using Star Wars as SJW propaganda is the tagline of "The Force is female." This was actually a tagline from Nike to promote their Air Force Ones, but was adopted by Star Wars fans after a picture of Lucasfilm CEO Kathleen Kennedy wearing the phrase on a shirt went public. There's actually a Reddit post out there that details how
Yeah, and why do you think she wore that?
Oh my god, the person who runs Lucasfilms says the Force is female. Obviously, Lucasfilms doesn't think that way because it's only the person who runs it.
Yeah.
Hitler wants to kill the Jews.
You want to tell
I
me
guess
this
the Nazis
person
don't
does
want to
not
get rid of the
have...
Jews.
Yeah, do you want to tell me that this person does not have a political, I dare say sexist, agenda she's pushing into the products she's making? I mean, have you heard the ideas for her Way Out movie, her outdoor movie for the next Indiana Jones is? The idea is to replace Indy with some random woman.
I'm not going to see the movie. I'm not going to support it in any way. That's my way of like striking.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good decision. But dude, you are proven. You are factually and have been factually proven wrong. Kennedy has this agenda. From when's this video from?
January.
This January.
This year.
This year.
Yeah.
Holy shit! This guy's a retarded.
6 months ago.
See, this is one of the moments where I say I'm autistic, you're retarded.
Yeah, like the problem. My biggest problem with this video is they're just so tired. Like this video feels like this was made like 3 or 4 years ago. Because like the Fandom Menace being like, I believe so that it was created not so long after The Last Jedi was released. So these points of that he's talking about is like just way elaborated already by others, much better.
Yeah,
he's just gaslighting.
Everything's been
trying to guess.
Yeah, everything that he said has been debunked years ago.
Yeah. I just don't understand. Like, is this a video that he made like 3 years ago and he forgot to upload it?
It's a video that he made 3 years ago. He pressed upload, it got to 99%, then his computer crashed.
So
he thought it was up.
And now it's 4 years in processing and now accidentally released.
It's kind of like you watch like one of those Doomcock videos from 2 years ago, and they're like, dude, this didn't even happen. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
I still find them entertaining. It always when I watch Doomcock, I always want to play Chroma Squad.
And like he is kind of Doomcock is a lot of his videos are pretty embarrassing, and I think he would be considered probably a central figure in the Fandom Menace, but has his problem ever been, as we are being told, not necessarily with him, but with the Fandom Menace, has his problem ever been that there were women in the movie?
No.
Never. It was
Like,
just a point that
problem?
like the people who criticized this movement made that like, oh, that's all they have is a problem.
Yeah, like, is his problem with Kathleen Kennedy that she's a woman?
No.
Nope.
Or is it
the thing
that
is,
she's-
it's like a massive raging bitch.
Had Ryan Johnson been a woman, that would say we're just criticizing that person because it's a woman. The point
I am
is,
so
they bring up
glad that Ryan Johnson was a human that has a penis of a rather
bring
small
up.
size. I'm not gonna call him a man, but he is a human that has a penis. Yeah.
He's even white.
They bring up all these pathetic, vapid straw men because they have no actual arguments. if they had actual arguments, they would not need to resort to vapid straw man.
Very much.
All right.
That details how Kennedy has ties to Nike and that the phrase may have been made with this double meaning in mind, but regardless of how that came to be,
if
the
it's a
Force
double
is
meaning,
female
it
has
also
two clear
means
intentions:
that.
to market and appeal to girls whilst also promoting their earlier plan of diversifying Star Wars. Neither of the intentions behind the slogan are even remotely malicious, but some Fandom Menace dudes didn't think so. I've seen plenty of takes around the internet from the fandom.
Then you do not understand feminism and how it is at its very core inherently misandrist, man-hating. Even Aaron Prizzi, who invented the women's shelters and ran the first, and then the feminists took up on it with a big socialist drive behind them, and when the socialists built their women's shelters, they excluded men, they excluded boys from the ages of 8 and 14, depending on where they were. Erin didn't do that because she understood, and the people she ran her women's shelters with understood, that the families need to be together, the kids need to be with their parents, and oftentimes the men were suffering as much as the women, or the men, the fathers were, or the mothers were as violent, if not more, than the husbands that came in. It was a complete chaotic mess. While the socialist women's shelters, full of feminism, where men were forbidden, and boys with the ages of 8 and up were forbidden and had to go somewhere else, ripped from their fathers and their mothers. Those women's shelters, to this day, were nothing but feminist indoctrination places. So you tell me that this movement is not malicious? And when we see their slogans, where they try to push themselves like a parasite, like the AIDS virus I described in the beginning, try to push themselves into everything, that is not malicious just because you are too retarded to see it. This is not a thing of paranoia. This has been proven time and time again throughout history. We can go back all the way to the suffragettes and their white feather movement, where they told underage boys to go to the draft to sign up for World War I, and if they didn't, they would put a white feather on them, just like on the older men, to render them cowards. They were telling the boys of other families, of other women, of other mothers, to sign up for the draft and die in a war for their luxury. This is the core of feminism. It always has been narcissism and borderline and psychopathy. Sometimes you had sensible claims around it that attached, and once those were done, the same women and other supporters were going home again leaving the insane core of feminism to keep on going. And this has been going on to this very day. This is a malicious movement. It always was. This is the important part, is that women's rights activism and feminism are not the same thing. Feminism claims complete ownership of women's rights activism. That's the scam. Women's rights activism is often hindered by feminism, because for one, women's rights activism actually wants to achieve something, while feminism is the perpetual movement that doesn't want to solve your problems, because then it would cease to have need to exist. It would become obsolescent. And nothing that wants to keep a job running and keep donations running wants to become obsolescent. And here we see, in this whole Star Wars thing, we see one head of this Hydra. I'm done.
And what he's doing here is, whether inadvertently or not, is the very classic Mott and Bailey stuff, where it's like, oh, all they want is to promote it to a female audience, and they want a more diverse audience. That's all they want. It's okay because that's all they want. which is the most innocuous spin on
And with diverse audience,
Yeah.
they don't mean actual diverse audience. They mean no white men.
Yeah, when they say that, they don't actually mean it because before all this shit happened, they already had it.
Yes. The Star Wars audience, as well as the Star Trek audience, is the best example of this. The very best, because it is the widest audience possible already. How do you diversify that? I mean, you said that already.
I would say Star Trek more, a hell of a lot more than Star Wars, but the point does still stand.
Mm-hmm. Well, Star Trek was a bit more nerdy in regards to the audience. Star Wars really had appealed to absolutely everyone. Every age, every sex, every race, every culture.
All right, so this section goes on for another 3 minutes. I don't know what else he has to
Wonderful.
say.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No, man. Yeah, this is like the problem is, as much as I enjoy Wisp rants, we've argued these points to death.
Before he made them. Before he made his.
Yeah, exactly. This, like what Mark says and what we think, this feels like a video that should have been made 4 years ago and not one that's been made now, because everything he's saying has been debunked and has been proven to be the exact opposite of everything he's saying, and it's just...
I never heard the "if you dislike women." I've never heard that before. That's silly.
But really?
It's only the Strawman the SJWs make.
You just
and it's
hate
what they
women.
always make. It's what they made. It's what their counterclaim was against criticism against
Yeah,
Anita
but that sounds
Sarkeesian's
like
crap.
some random person on Twitter who doesn't have time or doesn't know what they're talking about. Like that's
Oh,
what
you just don't like Anita Sarkeesian because she's a woman. It's exact same shit.
Well, I get that whenever someone puts a comment on my Last of Us 2 video about the size of a certain character's arms. So
the size of Abizilla's fucking Joel Crushers.
I just hate women. It's like, what? I suppose the female bodybuilder who shares my opinion also hates women.
The funny thing is, like, Smudge will be like, yeah, this person, like, this female bodybuilder agrees with me. But I'm just like, yeah, I hate women, and what? Cry harder. I don't care. I hate minorities. I hate fucking everybody. Fuck off. Do the world a favour. Stop moaning at me and, like, rethink your life. Or better yet, buy some rope. I don't care. I'm just fed up. I really am just fed up, because everyone who argues with me is usually a fucking idiot, and I don't have time for it anymore. And this video is just, like, making me just go, what the fuck is this? Where's my life going? I'm listening to people moan about...
You don't blindly like the movie I like.
Yeah, you don't blindly like everything I like. You're a fucking misogynist, and you're a fucking faggot. I don't care. Look, see, we can both disagree with each other.
Anyway, we could stop
I
here
hate these people.
unless you guys want to try another section of the video where he talks about...
Yeah, let's just skip past this because it is the same sludge we've heard 1,000 times.
What are the sections called?
The lies and rumors, the toxicity and harassment, and the conclusion. Unless you want to hear him singing at the end there.
The singing is not necessary.
Yeah,
but we're already 3 hours in from standard time. I don't know if anything. I do the other parts at another night.
We've got a lot of stream memes as well coming up.
Here we go. I'm gonna cover all of both. You said the lies and rumors, the toxicity and harassment, and then conclusion.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. The lies and rumors. Doomcock made a bunch of videos that turned out to be clickbaity and wrong, and that's whatever. It's kind of Doomcock is kind of cringeworthy, and I don't really care. And you should get better confirmation before you make clickbait rumor videos. The toxicity and harassment, there's no evidence of it happening, and I don't care.
Yeah.
We have 2 screenshots directed at Kelly Marie Tran that may or may not be true. Editing her character's Wikipedia page is not harassment. I don't care if you say it is. It's not. Ahmed Best and Jake Lloyd had absolutely nothing to do with the Fandom Menace. They were not harassed by fans. That didn't happen. Stop lying about it. Conclusion, you're an idiot. There, I covered the rest of the video. We can do memes now.
Yay!
Yeah, no, honest to God, that is literally all we will be. Yeah, that is, yeah. Yeah, Smud, memes.
God
All
bless
right.
you, man.
Smud, you don't want to continue this video.
It's pretty weak sauce. I'm not too concerned about the arguments. Just that he's saying things that either didn't happen or things we already covered years ago. So
The only thing I want to see is if in the toxicity and harassment section we get the token 2 Twitter screenshots, but I doubt that'll even happen.
To honestly, man, we've not had any like evidence given for anything. So
Yeah,
far.
that's what I mean. We wouldn't even get that. Like, I can't believe I'm about to defend this woman right now, but at least when we covered Neuralities, she put up at like 8 or 9 comments.
Yeah, I mean, it was still bad, but yeah.
Yes, it was
No,
so
I mean,
bad. And it hurts me that I just referenced her in any kind of positive way.
Well, just think. I literally had to say, do you have any evidence of the crazy feminists agreeing with Ray? I mean, we know that they do, but for any people who don't know the situation behind it, do you have any evidence to show that? And it's like, no. It's like, well,
there you go.
Yeah, and
It's
there's like a Twitter thread every month where somebody posts a bunch of screenshots of Ray and says, you just hate her because she's a girl or whatever.
Or give me another example of a female character
who went through more pain or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
I love that video.
So much. There's so much evidence, but
I hope that video. I hope that video will be expanded upon every year.
all right, let's get started. Here's Bearserker. So
Is that a pigeon?
I made the joke about
Yeah,
Kylo Ren not knowing what guns are.
Streaming stuff. Yeah.
So yeah.
Is that a pigeon?
Godzilla had a stroke trying to watching this.
You can tell that was quickly done at the start of this video.
Yeah, as Matthias. All right, Matthias.
Oh no, that's an old.
Yeah.
I mean
Yeah, I
he
know
didn't
it's an
make
old
that.
meme, but like, yeah, I know, but it was like put in at the start of this.
Oh yeah.
video.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's Hawk, and he doesn't want to watch this, but too bad.
Yeah, but I didn't want to watch another Mother's Basement video.
What is this? Rush A, you want to listen to a faggot talk about Life is Strange again? All
That
he
was my
yeah.
breakdown on Discord earlier.
So this is all about Mother's Basement, yeah.
Yeah, all he does is talk about Life is fucking strange. Even the video's not about Life is fucking cuntedly bastard strange.
This is what you're fucking.
And instead, I got cringe central.
Hey, to be fair, like at least like we have a good laugh at him. He's like a professional clown.
Yeah, but the thing is, it was like Mother's Basement's a review of Life is Strange. I'm like, I listened to your Life is Strange review through like four other videos you've done. I don't care about Life is Strange. Nobody cares about this game. No one cares. Shut the fuck up about it.
All right.
Oh no.
Eric,
Matt, why did you find these comments?
What is this? Matt is base staff. He speaks the truth. I love it. New sub as of right now.
Based as fuck.
Based as
Yeah,
fuck.
this guy just doesn't know how to hit the space bar on his computer.
Matt, are we talking about Boulder
Matt's
Boy?
the guy who made the video. No, this guy. These
Oh.
are comments on the video we're covering right now.
Okay.
I
like-
the subject has been two dumb guys named Matt the same day in a row,
God.
2 days in a row.
I liked Last Jedi. I even liked Rose. I've got my reasons, and I completely respect anyone who simply disagrees. It's insane, though, that my opinion about the film has gotten me death threats on Twitter.
Boy, that is
Jesus.
insane. It didn't happen. You didn't get death
Yeah.
threats on Twitter. People
Yeah,
saying
there's
kill yourself
no
is not a
way.
death threat.
Yeah, there is no way that you get death threats for liking The Last Jedi. You get death threats for not liking The Last Jedi,
Mhm.
and you get people trying to dox you so you can get fucked up.
Somebody probably said he was dumb or said kill yourself. So people saying kill yourself is not a death threat.
Cooper Bane, kill yourself. See, look, it's easily done. Doesn't mean I'm presenting you a death threat. But yeah, kill yourself.
It's not a death threat and it's not harassment. It's just,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm an old man who grew up in the Wild West days of the internet. But like, oh no, someone said kill yourself. Get over it.
I got 400 quotation mark death threats from fucking people in New Zealand because I called New Zealand a shithole. So what? It's fine.
But it is.
It is.
Yeah, I know it is.
New Zealand is currently turning the libraries into activist hellholes.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not get on to the topic of New Zealand.
The thing I hate about the Fandom Menace is that how it tarnishes the legacy of the original Star Wars film from 1977. For me, the original Star Wars is a classic of American cinema.
No, it doesn't.
On the same level as The Wizard of Oz or Casablanca. Because of these crazy fans, I can no longer view the original film the same way. What?
Oh, right.
Is this just the argument of the other side that they now claim for themselves?
Ryan, do you have a brain? Like,
or the other 43 people who like this comment.
This is stupid. Like, it's stupid.
If you don't like the Fandom Menace, why do you care what they have to say? Like, this is the strangest
It's way too big.
This is
way too big a reaction.
The Fandom Menace target.
It's kind of like that old joke that like Hitler liked water as well. So
it is the same.
You cannot like water.
It is honestly the same if the other side would say the same, it would be the same kind of overreaction. It's like saying because the later movies in the franchise were shit, I can't watch the first one anymore. Like Highlander or something.
This is exactly what we were saying earlier. To this guy, not having the right opinion, he has to have the opposite opinion of you because you're part of the Fandom Menace. So the Fandom Menace likes the original Star Wars, so he can't like the original Star Wars because otherwise he's sharing space with these bad meanie people who like the original Star Wars, one of like the top grossing movies ever. And in my opinion, I said this the other day, Star Wars is my favorite movie. Like, I love the original Star Wars. I don't care who likes the original Star Wars. I'm sure that people I don't like the original Star Wars.
But this is like
it doesn't matter.
The SJWs soured my opinion of like The Princess Bride or something because masculinity is toxic or some nonsense. You're like, that's the dumbest shit. Like, who cares?
Yeah, it's like they like The Princess Bride, so I can't like The Princess Bride.
Or something. Yeah, it's like, what?
I still like The Princess Bride even though Carrie Elwes is an idiot on Twitter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Stop letting the way other people feel about things affect your enjoyment of those things.
Yes.
It's one thing to watch a review where somebody talks about what's in something, and then even like a big long form one like a Mahler video where he goes over everything in the movie. You can hear that, and then you can decide, okay, I don't want to watch it based on this from what he said about it. That's different. That's not Mahler didn't like it, so I have to like it.
Yeah, because that's what the emotionally immature SJWs do. They just copy and paste other people's emotions and opinions. If you are capable of individuality and free thought, you can form your own. You have your own emotions, and you can form your own opinions. You can disagree with the guy who complains. You can also agree with the guy who complains and still like the thing. For the parts that you like it.
And like, I mean, admittedly, there are things, most specifically, things like Steven Universe and some of those shows where I have had such a negative experience with the fans that I don't really want to watch the show. But I also don't say I also don't say that I hate Steven Universe or I can't enjoy it because I've never experienced it. It's just these are the people who like it. I'm going to avoid it and just not talk about it. I'm not going to say it tarnishes my enjoyment. Maybe I would watch it and like it, but probably not because now I've seen like breakdowns of it and it sounds terrible. But I don't talk about it, and I don't say that it's the fans' fault that I don't like it. I say they turn me off basically from watching it, and so I'm not going to comment on whether I like it or not because I've never seen it. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a difference there, at least to me. Maybe I am just a big hypocrite because of that, but people I don't liking the same thing as me does not make me stop liking the thing. Mm-hmm. It just makes me say, okay, well, whatever.
It just shows that when you are like that, it shows that you are such a brain dead, emotionally dead, personality lacking tribalist, and you will adopt every opinion that your tribe dictates to you just to stay part of the tribe. Mm-hmm. That's absolutely infantile. That's not what an adult is like.
Apparently, there's such a thing called Jar Jar. Jar Jar. What the hell is this? Tongue candy?
Oh God! Oh my God!
Wow. Oh, I actually do remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God!
I missed the one above it about me turning 2.
I remember some family on my dad's side actually have like the piggy bank for Jar Jar and for Queen Amidala.
Is that one of the Hellgast from Killzone that you turn into during the Smudcast?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Don't we find out the Hellgast aren't really like cartoonish bad guys later in the series? I don't remember. I haven't played any of those in like 10 years.
It doesn't matter. They look like Nazis.
I know.
That's the joke.
So here's a meme on JoJo.
Radika's the only one that matters, though. Moving on.
Is that like a pun on the fucking JoJo Dio?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Oh,
that's it was me, Dio.
I don't know how Google
Use
structured this search, but apparently Jar Jar is in fact a Sith.
Wait, Canon Jarrett? When was he a Sith?
So, if you search Sith, your top results are the player character of The Force Unleashed, some guy from one of the cartoons that I've never watched, and Jar Jar Binks.
Kanan is a Sith?
Oh, Kanan Jar. No, he's not.
I would be surprised.
That's part of the joke.
Oh, okay.
That's part of the joke.
Right. Oh.
So, where am I? Says the time traveler. Jar Jar, Coruscant. Before or after the Great Jedi Purge? Before.
Oh.
The time traveler sweats profusely as he realizes it's literally right before. Literally the day before.
Well, and the implication there is that Jar Jar said before instead of "What are you talking about?"
Yes, too.
This is great. I'm not going to rewatch that so bad that you can see that the people that made it put less effort in. Oh, hi, Mark.
That was so great when that happened.
That was really good timing.
It literally did. Literally the "Oh hi, Mark." That was terrific.
Yes.
Are we going to take me to see Star Wars 9? No, I don't want to ruin your Christmas. Oh.
Fair point.
Sequels suck now. Bad storytelling, soulless characters, empty fan service, unfulfilled expectations. But what about our sequel trilogy? What the hell did you think I was talking about?
The hell did you think?
That is great. That is great.
Prequel fans, when you make fun of the prequels.
Yes.
Sequel fans, you make fun of the sequels.
Double yes.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen. I agree in principle, but I've seen a lot more prequel fans recently get a lot more defensive about the prequels when you
in
take
comparison,
shots at them.
well,
Which,
it's
like-
because the bar is so low that
Yeah,
it elevates the prequels.
I guess so. But like, I've rewatched the prequels. They're still bad.
The bar is
Yeah,
so
they
low,
are.
it's underground.
They are, but they are less whatever the sequels are.
Yes.
The bar is so low.
That's all.
It's well,
It's
well
relative.
underground.
It's purely relative. They're
There's at
still
least
bad,
some.
but they're relatively better.
Yeah, there's still
Relatively.
there's still heart in the prequels. At
In the-
least I can say
in-
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in their weird, cheesy, contrived, stumbling way, they're still better than whatever the sequels are.
And besides, the bar is so low, it's well underground, halfway to China by now.
That's true.
Oh,
fucking dinosaur.
And no one can deny that.
This next one's great. I love it.
Also, yeah,
what is going on here? We're in the desert or something?
the trailer reaction, dude. Yeah.
That is total cringe.
Oh, that was so embarrassing, that trailer reaction. Like, I know people defend that guy. They're like, oh, his dad had just died and so on and so forth, and he had watched it. And
Every
like,
single movie trailer, his dad dies. What?
but like,
He has many dads.
like, if you get emotional because
This is great.
of that, just get over it. Don't put it on the internet. Cry it out in privacy.
Mhm.
So here's
Sorry,
a scene
I
from X-Men, the animated series. You got Ray over here and Kylo Ren kissing, which is Gene and
And Jimmy Scott.
Gene Scott. And on the bottom, you got Wolverine.
Logan.
So, at the bottom, you got Wolverine, and it's Finn, who was not an abusive mass murderer for the past 2 movies.
Isn't that how it always goes?
And,
Come be honest. Isn't that how it always goes?
Oh my god.
and Scott has had his like dark moments.
The fun part is that the next panel is one of these other guys on the top dies. So,
Yay.
okay, Eric, half Star Wars fans, sequel trilogy Disney. All right, you turned them against me. You have done that to yourself.
Have done that yourself.
You've done that to yourself, says George Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, George wasn't too
Pretty
happy.
much. Hell
For many
no.
reasons.
It's like for Disney to buy his treatment for a sequel trilogy only to throw it out their window the moment they left the meeting room.
So this guy
Yep.
is the fellow we were watching. I don't know if he's a fan. He says he's a weak fan. I don't know if he's one of these dudes who just watches popular stuff because it's popular. I could not tell you. He buys a lot of the crap though. So for someone who's not a fan, it doesn't make too much sense. And why?
I think if anything, he's a pretentious consumer.
Why would he make a video about it if he's not a fan? It doesn't make too much sense.
To get clicks and get paid the rent with YouTube monies.
4,000
Yeah, the way
5,000 views.
The way he made his points, he is definitely not a passive observer or whatever he said.
When you Strawman, I don't even think he was using Strawman. I think he was just making light of stories, and we're like, okay, that wasn't a big point you made.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's a straw man to just say, "Oh, their problem is that there's women in the movies."
Yes,
Which
that
has
is
never
a
been-
massive
which
straw
has
man.
never been the problem.
No, of course not. And it's like it's so played out at this point. Everybody like they just treat it as axiomatic that the problem that the Fandom Menace has is that there's women in the movie. It's like, can you actually show this? I mean, just rhetorical because I know you can't, but
So how do you make a million? franchise, give $1 billion franchise to Kathleen Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
I have no sympathy for the amount of money they're losing. It's just, oh, well.
This one hurts me.
That's
This
great.
one hurts me so bad.
So good. Star Wars EU. We got no source material.
And Kennedy now acts as if, there's always this vast EU material that we can draw from. She just went backwards a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a perfectly viable sequel trilogy on your hands already, and you just... I mean, it wouldn't have been, like, the easiest to do because it takes place, like, not long after the trilogy ends, and the actors are obviously a lot older. But, like, you had a trilogy right there. You just make an adaptation of the Thrawn trilogy. It was so good. Just do that,
And easy
please.
as
Okay.
But, you know, like I said, obviously the actors are a lot older, but I don't know, recast them,
respect
think
of
of something.
So here's a retelling of whatever Ben's talking about here. And it comes down to Kennedy being seduced by the dark side of the franchise. It's a bit long to read, but you guys can read that yourself. Oh my god, this is even longer to read.
Yeah, it's
basically just the same message every single article.
Yeah, but then there's Gina, and it's
All
like
of her posts after months of harassment, amid reports of harassment. Yes, reports. After racist Star Wars fans reportedly drove Kelly Marie Tran from Instagram. Yeah, I like that.
The next one,
Russian trolls.
That's called weasel words, folks. Those are weasel words in that headline.
Gina Carano actual posts by God knows how many people
who
did this because what was the
16.
reason they didn't like her? I can't remember. What did she do? What did she say?
She made a historical reminder that when the anti-Semitism in Germany was propped up and enforced by the Nazis, it was made in order to blindly hate your neighbor, which she warned about that what currently is happening is very much that mechanic of what's going on. And the SJWs, of course, made out of that, because it's essentially calling out what the SJWs are doing, claimed that, she was making light of the Holocaust. And how dare she compare what happened to the Jews to white people?
Yeah, they said she was comparing the treatment of conservatives to Jews being sent to concentration camps, even though she didn't do anything like that.
Yeah.
But of course, you have to equivocate so that she sounds worse than she is.
Whereas it was definitely...
Almost like saying, you just hate the movie because there's women in it.
Yeah, but it's almost as silly as people comparing, say, illegal immigrants to Holocaust. Oh wait, what's his name? Who stars in The Mandalorian? Did that? AOC pretty much does that. Yeah, he literally said that people coming over illegally were being kept in cages just like Jews in the Holocaust.
Yeah, and he did not get reprimanded for that bullshit because it's politically convenient.
Yeah, that's like the linchpin of the whole thing. The fact that he said similar shit and nothing happened to him, and he's a white dude.
And he's the one who's actually relativizing the Holocaust.
Yes.
And in Germany, that would be that would be a criminal offense.
Exactly.
Pedro Pascal would be the anti-Semite here in this story.
I'm not sure what Gamergate, big boogeyman, and a bunch of guys with guns are.
It's the big monster, isn't it? Ooh, Gamergate.
I don't
The game-
recognize
'cause-
whatever these things are.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know
it's
which
just,
game
it's-
this is.
Yeah, it's just a thing that's saying that we never moved on from Gamergate.
Yep.
So someone released an elephant into the room.
I was just at a grocery store wearing a Star Wars sweater. Cashier, I love your sweater. Which movie is your favorite? Me, The Last Jedi. And yours? Oh, I hated that one. It was so censored.
It was shit.
Me.
Whoa, dude, you don't need to censor. Look, bad is not a swear word. You can say that.
Cool. I'd like to speak to your manager about your behavior. Like, what?
And the manager came over and said, "Sir, please leave my store. Get
Yeah,
out."
No, the manager came
and
over.
never
No,
come
the
back.
manager came over and went, "Yeah, he's right. Last Jedi is shit."
Ban all white people until we figure out what's going on? What the hell?
Yeah, and then you will realize.
that
Yeah.
that's he's mocking something Trump said when Trump said we needed to shut down Muslim immigration until we figure out what's going on, or I think it was Muslim immigration.
Oh.
Or immigration from
thanks.
the 7 countries he tried to ban immigration from.
Right.
Yeah, the countries that produce the most terrorists.
World War I, World War II, and then World War III is a video camera
It's just cameras and
with a feed of money pumping into it.
Yep.
yeah.
Well, it's a propaganda war. It's a psychological war.
Yeah, propaganda machine.
It's a purely psychological war.
Berserker is giving me a video you guys could watch. That's fine.
Mhm.
Eric, you know what FEAR stands for? False evidence appearing real.
I like that.
And then Wisp going straight to the point.
Wisp, you're posting your own. So
Picture.
who are you giving a middle finger to exactly? I don't think you answered
Everybody.
Didn't I
Fuck the
explain
world.
that in the beginning?
that. Was it me? Was it Hawk? Who we?
The guy who makes the fucking stupid strawman video bullshit.
Oh, but that was before we watched
Was
it.
that Wisp? Yeah, that Wisp. That doesn't narrow it down though. That still doesn't narrow it down.
You really think
who makes
we
the
don't know
bullshit
these
strawman
guys'
video.
this guy's arguments in advance?
Yeah, Wisp is
Preemptive
right
swearing?
there. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. The name's Hawk, Sarcastic Hawk. Okay. Wow, your parents gave you a weird name. Why are you thick? What?
Click. Yeah, when people,
In this scene
when
in the
people
movie,
thought that suck.
she's not exactly Miss turning on any light bulbs anytime soon.
Yeah, but that.
If he
that-
wasn't in
that
the movie,
people-
the character wasn't in the movie either. He was not very smart.
Yeah.
But this is because people thought that my actual name was sarcastic. I'm like, no.
So,
Who the hell would think that?
okay. Howdy. Eric here. I had a discussion with a guy who didn't care for the OG and never watched the prequels, yet he really liked The Last Jedi and considered himself a fan. Thank you, Eric.
Oh, those sort of people.
I mean, he's a fan of The Last Jedi, certainly. He's not a fan of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And yes, I am
Mhm.
gatekeeping. He's
Yes.
not a real fan of
The
Star Wars.
kitchen
Yes,
is
I agree.
that way. They never do show the canteens or the kitchens in Star Wars ships.
Yes, they do. In Attack of the Clones, Dexter Jettster's 50s Diner.
That's a diner.
Indeed.
I meant the spaceship.
His completely inexplicable 50s diner.
Everything's
You mean
hallways.
on the ships?
Hallways and
You mean on
bridges,
Yeah.
little rooms, but no actual like, hey, let's go get a drink or something. No bars. Anyway,
Not on the ships, no, you are right about that.
Rose Tico's actions make more sense if she's a First Order spy. Changed my mind. Oh, so
Yes.
if Rose Tico is the spy and she does crazy. No. The problem is she just does crazy shit. Okay, it's like okay, many things can explain.
Yeah,
why.
Rose Tico's
Some of her-
behavior makes more sense if she has brain damage.
Yeah, I was gonna say
What
something.
if
like
she
What I-
was like a
that's what I
sleeper
said.
agent the entire time?
Like she accidentally
That's what I
zapped herself
said.
a few too many times, so she does it to other people.
Yeah, like she was
Yeah.
like amnesia.
Mhm.
She experienced like psychic feedback when her sister died and it damaged her brain.
Oh my god! The Last Jedi is actually just like a spin-off from the Jason Bourne movies, but it's like Rose Bourne.
Fuck.
All right. Well,
Oh my gosh!
That's why she tried to kill Finn.
We got somebody in the chat who said on the topic of seeing kitchens in Star Wars, somebody said Episode 4, Aunt Beru is cooking in one scene.
yeah, I know there are buildings.
Chips on the chips.
She's also Aunt Beru is actually cooking in 2 scenes. To be honest
I
with you.
realize there.
Yeah, she asked Uncle Owen for help later on.
No, guys.
blue
I
milk.
realize there are kitchens and living rooms and all kitchen and dining rooms and many scenes of Star Wars.
On the starships.
I'm referring to the spaceships.
Yes.
Well, Smud, isn't a planet just one big spaceship?
I'm gonna go with maybe closer to a Death Star analogy, but no.
Fucking hawking his loopholes.
I mean, if you get close enough, any star is a Death Star. So.
Oh.
Hey, listen, I watched a movie where tons of ships came out of a planet, so.
Anyway, everyone likes Ahsoka, I assume, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Over Ray,
And-
yeah.
I was a
And
strong
then she
female.
was Rosario Dawson.
I was a strong female character that hates men, showing off my leadership skills by killing off most of the rebellion.
Yeah. Yeah, so remember, there's 18 survivors of the Resistance at the
ships
end of the
left,
Last Jedi.
I mean,
And,
From
and
over-
again,
from
they
like-
expect
like-
us to think
From
that-
the biggest ship the rebellion has ever had, bigger than the Calamarian cruises.
indeed.
Yeah. And the movie expects us to think that she was correct.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
She
So-
got 99% of the Resistance killed.
Yeah, and she even looks like a villain.
Fucking, there's massacres with more survival rate. The fucking 300
Jar Jar Binks
Spartans
did not
had
cause
had
as
a
much
bigger
damage.
survival rate.
So, learning about extra information about a side character, I don't really care. So,
Not even I make the claim that not even Jar Jar Binks caused as much damage as Holdo, because Jar Jar Binks only helped destroy the Republic and enact the Empire. Holdo destroyed how hyperspace works.
Yes.
I just love that Jeremy Clarkson meme just works so well with everything.
I don't know.
the ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of SJWs ruining money-making franchises.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? What do we want from a Star Wars movie by Patrick Willems?
Oh yeah, he said that The Last Jedi was the 3rd best Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And it's like this video has been removed for misinformation.
Revenge? No,
He's
I'm
put
pretty
the
sure Revenge is-
prequels at the bottom.
Wait, hold on. Phantom Menace was better than Revenge of the...
Hell no. Hell no. Revenge of the Sith is clearly the best best of the prequels, and I'm not even kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not
So let's
but
see where.
it's-
So his top 2 are correct, and then he
Last
should
Jedi is
switch-
obviously wrong.
So,
And then after A New Hope is Jedi,
yeah, but
and then after that would be probably 3, then 1, and that's really it.
yeah,
I don't even rate the other ones because they're all crap.
he replaced Episode 9 with Rogue One, and he completely forgot about Solo.
I think he may have made this video before Episode 9 came out,
Really?
or before he'd
Probably,
seen
yeah.
it.
Okay.
I can't remember.
What do
And
so
speaking,
if
speaking
he
of checking boxes,
if he lists the things he likes the most, so I'm assuming what he wants from a Star Wars movie are the major elements from those more popular movies he likes.
If I remember right, his conclusion in the video is that he doesn't know what we want from a Star Wars movie.
Oh God, are you serious?
Yeah, he just doesn't take a firm stance at all.
Wow, what a great video. Let's go
I
watch
mean, do
that.
you expect anything else from Patrick Willems?
Well, he does have some rather peculiar opinions he believes in, so I would assume something tangible. Anyway, this is a very well-known image from, was it IDG Films or whatever that YouTuber was? And he was comparing sand and all kinds of things to Mary Sue. And on the right-hand side, we have Rey being all the Mary Sue. All the major Mary Sue traits that he believes is what makes a Mary Sue. There's way more than this, but...
That includes traits that neither of Luke or Anakin have.
But I
He
like the fact
says
that
Luke has no personality, and he says that Anakin does. That's
That is an automatic red flag.
No, the other way around. He says that. Oh, right. No, you're right.
yeah. He has Luke with no personality. I'm sorry, Luke Skywalker has a personality.
Yes.
He is...
We establish more of Luke Skywalker's personality in about 3 lines than Rey gets in 3 movies.
Yes.
He's seen as the everyman, so we have to identify him as just a kid who's like, I want to go do something and I can't. I'm stuck here, and then boom, that's when he takes off.
Yeah, he's a good-natured, sheltered kid who wants more out of life. We get that in about 3 lines. I'm sorry, Luke Skywalker has a personality.
what the best thing about this list is, as someone says, there's more things you can put for Mary Sue. But the fact is that Rey still ticks all the extra stuff you could put forward.
Yeah. Like, to me, the essence is... See, it says instantly liked. I don't agree that instantly liked is necessarily a Mary Sue trait, because not all Mary Sues are instantly liked by everyone, but everyone has an instant strong reaction to the Mary Sue character.
It happens
either
very
instant
quickly.
like or instant hate. Whichever one, nobody is just kind of, who are you? I don't care who you are. Everybody has strong opinions on this person.
No. Rey's not a Mary Sue now, because that old woman at the end of episode 9 goes, Rey who? So yeah, say debunk. Rey's not a Mary Sue because of that scene.
All right. This is very well known shot of Kathleen Kennedy and 3 other women. I don't know. So voila.
This image can go burn in hell.
Oh jeez.
I assume these are just other women who work at Bad Robot or Lucasfilm.
Our goal is to make
yeah.
Star Wars more diverse and representative of all girls. Young white English brunette. Young white English brunette. Young white English brunette.
Who's the third one?
That is Emilia Clarke from
Solo.
Yeah.
She colored her hair.
Again, like I said earlier, like the stupidity of these people that they want to try to diversify, even though they were already pretty diverse with their audience.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? A white brunette woman. Let's forget that she's English and all that sort of stuff. They all seem pretty similar to what Kathleen Kennedy looks like, don't they?
I don't know if she has a more horrible face.
She's old, don't worry.
Yeah, no, she's old. Yeah, that's fine. But when it comes to someone self-inserting themselves into it, don't we all make ourselves look a little bit younger? But it's just kind of funny that it's all like a white brunette girl being shoved into something that's run by an old brunette woman.
Why is her head so
like
big?
DNG and Wesley Crusher, like Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah.
People are saying in chat that the screen is frozen.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, it's still on the...
It's still got the Mary Sue.
Yeah, I fixed it. Thank you.
Okay.
I've done it, guys. Don't worry. Canada solves all the problems.
So,
and I have the stream open. I have no excuse to not notice that.
Good guys, bad guys. Tell me Star Wars is SJW propaganda.
Well, first of all,
I don't know, like why Max.
First of all,
hold
on a second here. Andy Serkis does not appear as himself, so I'm not counting him. And Max von Sydow is not a bad guy.
Zudo.
Yeah, he's not a bad guy.
Either mangled pronunciation of his last name aside, he's not a bad guy. His character is not a bad guy in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing in this picture. Especially when you could show any of the other, like General Pride.
Right, Richard E. Grant, yeah.
Yeah, Richard E. Grant. He's a white guy. You could also have replaced Andy Serkis with Ian McDiarmid. But at the same time, like, there are a number of background extras in the First Order. And like characters who get like 1 or 2 lines who are not white. So this is not the casting is not here, would not be what I go with. More the overall message of the film, which is that is the janky social justice morality where everyone who acts like an idiot or a villain is somehow hailed as the hero, and so they have to make the villains like mass murderers to make the supposed good guys seem good by comparison.
Yeah.
So here's a very simple aspect of logic. If a series or franchise has already had women, why would we only now begin to hate it for having women?
Exactly.
And see, that's the question they don't ask. Well, I think maybe they do ask themselves, but then the resolution to the question is always, it's okay. It's like they're okay with those tokens, or maybe they didn't notice. Although that's more about messaging than characters. Well, they'll say when you were younger, you didn't notice that the stuff you like has always had a particular slant. See, this is one I have a hard time answering because my brain is not rotted enough to accept that they liked it when there were women in it, but don't like it now because there's women in it.
So here's a shot of apparently the diversity that Disney thinks people want to see in Star Wars, when in fact we just want to see really cool looking characters. So
I don't know where are you right now? Did you skim over the movie posters?
He skipped the Chinese movie posters.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those are pretty old.
Yeah.
A detail that escaped me for a long time is that on a Chinese poster, they completely erased Chewbacca.
Chewbacca's not black, though.
Barely see him in the original. Yeah.
On the Chinese version, he's completely gone.
Why is he not there?
Because the Chinese see Chewie as black, and they don't like that.
Well, we've known for years the Chinese are morons when it comes to race anyway, so whatever.
Well, the Han Chinese think they're the new master race.
Wait. Are you saying that Chewbacca is black-coded?
The Chinese are saying that.
The Chinese are the ones saying that.
Yeah, the spongy-eyed bastards are saying that Chewbacca is black. God.
What? Oh, you're a feminist? Name every woman? What is this?
Yeah. Really? It's like, oh, you're a fan? Name every character. So, oh, you're a feminist? Name every woman. Yeah, if you can't do it, you're not a real feminist.
I mean, I know that's mocking the idea of like when you say you're a fan of X, name all their albums, but like I don't understand the joke, honestly.
Mark, what the fuck have you just done with this next meme?
I guess the guy was waving his arms around too much.
I had enough.
Oh man.
What this one? Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Moving on.
You are under arrest, Chancellor Palpatine. Palpatine, Misa Jar Jar Binks. The Republic will be reorganized into the firstest Gungan Empire. Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't the Empire try to like genocide the Gungans as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's something
Weren't
that
the
happened.
Gungans technically part of the Republic or something? Or
No.
at least an ally of the Republic?
Is this
Don't see any of them after like the OT, so
You see like Jar Jar for like 10 seconds during like the epilogue of episode 3 after Order 66.
Oh, thank God.
So I think this is a scene in the Clone Wars, or I can't remember if it's real.
Yeah. It's because she goes, "What do you want with Anakin? What does Sidious want with Anakin Skywalker?" Darth Maul goes, "He's the key to everything."
This is from their fight in season 7, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one
From
that
the
scene in the trailers?
Yeah, from the scene where Maul pretty much knows everything that's happening, and Ahsoka's like, no, Anakin will never go bad, even though, there's no reason for Maul to lie about.
Even though it's during the time where he is literally going bad. This is, I think, like during
Yes,
Order 66,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, this is parallel to the movie. This is parallel to
Revenge of the Sith,
Revenge of
yeah.
the Sith.
So here's Ray talking
To an extent.
to
Sorry.
Darth Jar Jar.
Darth Jar Jar.
I
Darth
killed-
Jar Jar.
I killed
Yeah.
Palpatine. I'll kill you, my girl. Misa make palps. Misa make every voice that Misa ever hear inside your
Every
head.
voice in Misa ever heard inside your head.
That explains a lot.
The next one.
Oh, this is great. These are some good ones. Alex, well done.
What
You might be a
the hell
weeb,
is-
but you're good at memes.
Alex, what are you doing? Who is the best
It's
Sith?
amazing.
Vader, Sidious, Revan, Vader, Dooku, Jar Jar.
Dooku. Jar Jar. Oh,
Helps if you remember the original scene that this is using as a meme.
Yeah.
It just completes it.
Yeah.
Jeez. Still better Sith Lord than Kylo Ren. Well,
I agree.
Kylo wasn't a Sith Lord. He was just confused.
Kylo was just shit.
That's just emo.
Kylo was just a dyslexic Sith Lord.
What is this YouTube or is this Google when you type in Jar Jar Binks?
I think that's actually YouTube.
Looks like YouTube.
Search.
It's literally YouTube on mobile devices.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jar Jar Binks is Darth Plagueis? Really? Okay. Lucasfilm, this is Jar Jar Binks, a new character from the sole purpose of comic relief. Star Wars fans, a Sith Lord?
Yeah.
I like that one.
All right. And the rest is just someone going, no.
Yeah. This was a really good day for stream memes.
Oh, that was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of stream moves.
compensation for the video.
Alex posted another good one.
Ah.
Alex posted another good one in the discussion. Here, I'll just put it here. This is
move it
credit
into
to
the
Alex Dalo.
Yeah, move it into stream memes. Yes. Padme Mademoiselle, Jango Fett, who assigned her, Count Dooku, who assigned him, Palpatine, who assigned him, and Death who assigned it's a Ponzi scheme. It's a pyramid scheme. It never ends.
Wonderful.
Oh, God.
That was great stuff, Alex.
Yeah.
That's a winner.
All right. Well, that went on longer than I thought. I thought we were going to cut that a lot sooner because it was pretty weak. Oh, all right. Well, tomorrow's the big day. I don't know who's going to come up for that, but I have a list from Dunn. He's going to choose one. We're going to contemplate which one to do. We'll ask some people who wants to do it. And fun times will be had tomorrow, guys. So keep well rested if you're going to tune in, and if you actually want to take part in the panel. Just
if you want to take part, have at least 24 hours sleep before joining.
just clear your mind. You just don't think thoughts. Just
if you haven't already, probably complete that will so that your loved ones.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone, but it's the end of the month. That's what we do, and it's the hallmark of Smudcast. All the pleasantries can go out the door with Maggie May Fish because we don't know what to expect. So,
I love how you still think that I'm still pleasant to people on the Smudcast. I've just given up with it now.
I like to think we're mostly acting. We speak information and knowledge that we know, but a lot of it is just like, oh my God, this person, like if he was talking to us, we'd have a much more cordial conversation. But in this regard, we'd be like, oh my God, this guy's an idiot.
I would literally have, like, if we were like in a bar, I'd have left my drink at the table and gone somewhere else. I wouldn't even have finished my drink if I was talking to this bar. I'd be like, no, I'm out of here.
These things happen. Talking to people, I mean, it's the same with talking to women who are insane. You just sort of have to learn to deal with that and go through the conversation. Try to be friendly at least. So, yes.
Emphasis on try.
Yeah. So this guy, what was his name again? Let me just go back. MattCMG. We missed the CMG karaoke, thankfully. So no rap.
Small mercies, eh?
Yeah, I don't think we could handle random people we cover to sing for us, or even people we know sing for us.
Yeah.
Apparently, we always seem to skip the music, which is thankful because I don't want to hear it. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow. It's a special day as always, Maggie May Fish Day, and it'll be a surprise to all of us as well as me because I know there's a list. I just haven't seen them all yet, so we'll find out tomorrow. Soon.
I'll try to join. I'll try to join tomorrow. It'll be late, but I'll try to join.
I will try my best not to join and actually enjoy my weekend.
There you go.
Hawkspot.
Yeah, there's many better things you should be doing on a Friday night, but if you are incapacitated for whatever reason and you got no projects you're doing, come to the Smudcast.
I think
Smud's like, you've got no friends. You've got no friends. You've got no social life. Just come to Smudcast. It's perfectly
No
fine.
books, no movies, no games you want to play or watch. Just we'll be here. So.
I mean, by the time you guys start, I'll be at home from work. It's like I'll been off from work and just gotten home by the time you start. So
all right.
at least get a laugh out of it. At least get a laugh out of it. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Talk to you soon. Have yourself a great evening, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye,
buddy.
Oh.